Hello, welcome back everybody to the Garnish cooking stream. Welcome back to the cooking show. I hope you're all having a beautiful Friday. If you're watching this live, it is currently 5 p.m. EDT. As always, it is June 21st. Is this the right microphone? Tap, tap. I think so. I think it's a great microphone. Sorry about that little mic test. I thought for a second that my mic sources might have changed for a second, but I see that we're all here and we're all ready to go. Hello to Eliam. Hello to Banner2K. Hello to Trash Can Cat Mom. Hello to Dosky as well. Welcome on in. It is good to have all of you in today. Hello to Tarina Chess as well. Hope you're having a beautiful Friday. And everybody, I'm really excited about today's stream. We're gonna have so much to do. We're gonna be really busy today. Well, actually, not quite. We're gonna be doing quite the opposite. Everybody, we're going to be doing a Mexican dish that I love, but we'll be doing it actually a little bit differently. We're going to be doing a beautiful pozole. And pozole, depending on which pronunciation, if you want to do the anglicized one, it is this really beautiful chili stew. It has a really beautiful wide variety of different chilies, some spicy, some aromatic. Traditionally, it is done with pork. This is a pozole rojo, meaning a red pozole. Okay, oftentimes you'd also see a green pozole be made with a bunch of like serrano and bell pepper. But everybody, we're gonna be getting into it. We're gonna make it from the ground up. We will not be doing it with pork though. And the reason we're not gonna be doing it with pork though is because I had some leftover beans. This is gonna be a little bit of a variation. It's not traditional to most households, but this is gonna be pozole rojo de frijoles. Okay, so it's just going to be some of my leftover pinto beans. That's going to be there in place of the pork itself. And then I also had a couple of vegetables that I wanted to go ahead and get rid of. So, not super 100% authentic pozole rojo, the kind that you would be a little bit more used to, but it'll still be lovely. And everybody, one of the key ingredients to a beautiful pozole is the hominy. I have 2 coins of white hominy here. And so all that hominy is these really large bits of white corn, these really massive chunks of corn that have been nixtamalized. And so as you all know, nixtamalization is the process of treating corn or basically anything else with something like ash, or I believe something that's just alkaline, and it helps make it a little bit more bioavailable. Pozole is traditionally made with hominy. You will see this in any grocery store. You'll see this in any especially Latin American supermarket. I would not substitute this with regular yellow plain corn. I would try my best to go ahead and get some hominy on our hands. So everybody, we got some hominy. I'm gonna go ahead and set that behind us. Next, we have the most important ingredient is all of my beautiful chilies. Everybody, this is something that I want to teach all of you. There is an incredible world of awesome chilies. There's an incredible world of spicy chilies, aromatic chilies. The thing I hate most is a generic chili powder that would just be stored inside of your cupboard and stored inside of your cabinet. These are a bunch of really beautiful whole chilies, my friends, and each one of them has something a little bit different to say. These are some ancho chilies, and then over here, I believe I have some pasillas, and I also have some guajillos as well. These are going to be the base of the red sauce for the pozole today. This is where all of the flavor is. Everybody, we are not using chili powder. We're not using paprika. These soulless, tasteless, barely smoky little dried chilies that come already powdered. They are absolutely nothing. To make a beautiful pozole rojo, my friends, you need to get a nice variety of fresh chilies, fresh dried chilies. Now, if you don't necessarily have access to exactly Mexican dried chilies, you could also, in place of them, use, any other sort of global dried chili. You could use Kashmir chilies, you could use arbol chilies, you could do fish fragrant chilies. There is so much overlap in the actual flavors of the chilies themselves, but everybody, the chilies are the start of the show today. So anchos, guajillos, and pasilla chilies, that's what I will be using for my uses today. And then everybody, for all of the other stuff that's going to go in, this is where we break a little bit of convention. I have some leftover green bell pepper. Normally green chilies, they would be used in a pozole verde, right? A green pozole. But because I already had some bell pepper, I figured I may as well cube it up and saute it. I have some onion going into it. And then everybody, pozole is also all about the garnishes. Specifically, we're gonna have a mountain of thinly shredded cabbage right on top. We're gonna have some lime, and we're also gonna have some red onion. You'll also really oftentimes traditionally see avocado and radishes. I wanted to do avocado and radishes, and I didn't buy an avocado, and I ran out of radishes. So, cabbage is going to be for garnish. We have some garlic that'll be going inside. I have this green bell pepper. I have this leftover serrano. I figured I may as well go ahead and use it. I have this red onion, lime, and then the rest of my white onion, my friends. So all of these are leftovers that I wanted to go ahead and use up for today. And then additionally, we will be making some tortillas to go alongside the pozole. We'll be making some tostadas. I want to go ahead and try my hand again at making really good quality homemade tortillas. So hopefully today they end up working out, because the last few times they weren't so effective. And for that, you need some masa. This is basically nixtamalized dried corn, and this is what we use to make tortillas. And so everybody, once again, the main component of today, the reason why I'm doing a pozole de frijol is because I have all of these leftover pinto beans that I did not know what to do with. Is this the most traditional pozole? No, but this is a variation that people do. They do pozole de frijol when they want something vegetarian. I'll still be using chicken bouillon, but it'll be really delicious, my friends. So Tarina, not a silly question at all. You asked me what is nixtamalization. So nixtamalization, everybody, is a process that civilizations were essentially built on. Nixtamalization is the process of taking corn, right, or any grain, but classically done with corn. You treat it with something alkaline, or they used to use a lot of ash, and they would let it go ahead and soak. And what that would do is a little chemical reaction would take place. There would be more nutritional content that becomes bioavailable in the corn itself, and then it would also just become a little bit tastier. It would have a little bit more of a developed, pronounced flavor. Normally corn's nutrients, I forgot what it was, it has something to do with the husk of the actual kernels of corn. They're not all that naturally bioavailable. Nixtamalization is what makes corn nutritious, and that's the hominy, and that's the masa, my friends. That's right, Serena, you got it. So, everybody, those are all of my ingredients. Is everybody ready for today? I would like to hear a nice resounding yes, chef, please, and thank you from everybody watching. We're gonna be not too long today. We have no pork to braise. It's gonna be mostly vegetarian. We're gonna make the pozole. We have to make the garnishes. We have to make the tostadas for today. We're gonna make the tostadas from homemade tortillas, because everybody, homemade tortillas are so much better. They're so much more delicious, and everybody should be doing their own. And that is not enough yes, chefs. I need to see more. I need to see one from everybody watching, please, and thank you. Okay. So everybody, the pozole today, it starts with making a red sauce. It is going to be these really, really beautiful chilies, which we're going to go ahead and take the seeds out of. We're going to basically quickly toast them, and then we'll be submerging them with some nice hot water. We'll be blending that paste down, and it's going to be delicious. It's going to be phenomenal, and that is the real heart and soul of a beautiful pozole, my friends. So let's go ahead and begin with all of my lovely chilies for today. Also, housekeeping, everybody, this is the new channel. This is Daramgar TV. If you aren't following this channel, go ahead and do so. Second of all, if you'd like to support what we do here, my goal is to be able to do this full-time one day. Exclamation mark Patreon is the best way to directly support the cooking show. So let's go ahead and make this chili sauce. Let's go ahead and make the chili base for my pozole, my friends. So my cutting board is all set up, all ready to go. And once again, I have a lovely variety of a bunch of whole dried chilies. Guys, once again, do not use chili powder. In fact, chili powder as an ingredient is something that I have completely gotten rid of from my kitchen. In the world of cooking, especially Mexican cooking, there are so many varieties of beautiful dried chilies, my friends. Genuinely countless. Some of them are fruity, some of them are spicy, some of them are aromatic. They're all treated in different ways. Shark dog, my problem with chili powder is that it is a generic condiment. It is, you don't know the source of the chili. All that it does is it tastes mildly smoky. And when your spices are pre-ground, they tend to lose more flavor over time. Whole dried chilies, they have so much more flavor, and we get to go ahead and customize what our chili sauce is gonna end up tasting like. What do I blend my dried chilies in? Also, welcome on in. What's your full tag? Much about nothing? Well, welcome on in. I'll be doing this in a blender today. We'll be soaking it, make the paste, and we'll do it in a blender. Okay? I grow my own and dry them up, but I don't know if it's for the best. Shark dog, what I would do is I would look up the specific temperatures that you would want to dry your chilies. You need to have a specific temperature for a certain amount of time so that you don't lose too many of the flavors. Additionally, some of these chilies are smoked and some of them are not. If I needed a powder rather than a paste, also no worry about asking the question, you would need to get some kind of a fruity chili. So I would do a sweet paprika, and then maybe something smoky like a dried chipotle powder. Really just see what kind of dried chili powders you have available to you. Right, but a sweet smoked paprika, very specifically sweet smoked, I think would give you something similar. Okay, so everybody, we're going to go ahead and process up these chilies, and all that we're going to be really doing with these bad boys is opening them up. We'll be getting rid of all of the seeds, and much about nothing, we'll be blending them in a blender. It will work without, you do need a liquid though. We're not making a spice powder, we're making a spice paste. If you wanted a chili powder, if you wanted to make your own, you would need to use a spice grinder, a little electronic spice / coffee grinder. Okay, those would go a really, really long way. Okay, so I have these chilies. We're going to go ahead and get those out and ready to go. Then I believe, so I'm not actually sure if these are my pasillas or guajillos. I really, really mix them up often. Next, everybody, we have some ancho chilies, which are best described as almost raisiny. And I'm going to be using all 3 of these bad boys. So these are different chilies. I'm pretty sure that these are my pasillas. But everybody, if you could Google it for me and double check on that, that would be amazing. And then we have some of these bad boys. Yeah, oh, absolutely. Grinding chilies by hand, so much effort, terrible. I have another bug that got into my chilies. That happens, everybody. That is just a normal thing that happens with dried chilies, especially in the way that they're processed. It may have occasionally a couple of little bugs inside, and that is okay. We'll just brush them away. Don't worry about it. If anything, the food thing to say is, oh, it's extra protein. Do I ever use mega hot chilies like the Reapers? Shark Dog, the answer is no. They have no place in my kitchen ever. They have absolutely no place in my kitchen. And that's just because I never really need that much heat. I'm never ever like eating that much heat. You know, I have no use for it. Right? I want food to taste good. I don't want food that is just like outlandishly spicy for no reason. Okay. Fun fact, if the bugs survive the grinding and the soaking process, then they deserve a second chance at life. That's right. Okay, so everybody, all that we're going to go ahead and do, that's another one of these little guys. I am so sick of them. Everybody, this is normal. This happens. It's just a little guy. Let him do his thing. Leave him be. Okay, almost all dried chilies that you will buy, they will at least have a few of them laying around. And all that we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to be cutting off the top of each of my lovely chilies, my friends. We'll be running our kitchen shears all the way through them, and we'll be getting rid of all of the seeds. And hopefully there's no more bugs inside of them. That would be really, really unfortunate. And we don't really need the seeds because the seeds, they have a little bit of like extra heat. The seeds tend to be a little bit bitter. And so guys, I would really, really encourage you, please get rid of as many of these seeds as reasonably possible. So yes, there is some utility for chili seeds, which is on spicy chilies. They're really, really spicy. The seeds are where most of the heat is carried. And so what you can do is you can dry it, and you could just use it purely as a spice component and nothing else. Okay, once again, everybody, just popping them open, running my kitchen shears through it, and plucking out all of the seeds. Get them out of there, get them out, get them all cleaned up, and just process them. Do what you gotta do, get it done. But yeah, I'm getting kind of annoyed with like finding little bugs in my dried chilies. It's becoming really, really infuriating. These anchos aren't the freshest. There's a couple of ends that are a little too dried out, and they're like a little bit too dead. And so I'll be going ahead and discarding that as well. Okay, lovely. That's that one. And let's just go ahead and keep on processing it. Why do bugs like dried chili so much? Good question. Hell if I know the answer to it. Okay, so just keep going, keep processing. Also, everybody, your dried chilies, as like a nice rule of thumb, they shouldn't be too crunchy, okay? They should be like a little bit flexible. They should be like a little bit leathery. This chili right here that I have, it's a little bit on the older side. And so it's beginning to get a little bit crunchy. That's okay. All that it means is that it has some less flavor inside of it, okay? So ideally, a nice freshly dried chili, they would be pliable. Okay, you want them to be pliable and leathery. Also, did my webcam stop for some reason? I don't know. Everybody, I have no idea what's going on with my webcam today. It just froze for all of us. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. We'll fix that one of these days. The bugs are in the webcam. Much about nothing. Please don't say that. That scares the hell out of me. Please don't say that, I'm begging you. Okay. Keep going through it. Keep it processing. I really don't like bugs, guys. I'm really, really, really bad with bugs. Okay. Not my thing at all. Don't like them. Not for me. Not my friends, at least. Somebody else, I'm sure they could be friends for you. But for me, bugs creep me out a lot. Okay. A lot of chilies. We might make a little bit too much of the chili paste itself, and if we do, we'll just go ahead and freeze it and use it for something else later on. I might not like your cicada stir fry recipe. Yeah, Rondo, I might not. So I've had dried like cricket powder. I've had dried protein, like the cricket protein stuff, and I've always like thought it was like fine in whatever it's been in, but I am not a picky eater. I'm not. I will say though, bugs are still like a little bit too novel for me personally. I didn't grow up necessarily eating bugs. I didn't come from like one of the many cultures that do eat bugs at all. And so as a result, it's just not something I'm used to quite yet. You know, it's something that can be deconditioned out of you. It really much so depends on the way that you grew up. If you grew up with it, it doesn't seem like an issue at all. But I most certainly did not grow up with it. Not even from a playground, that's right. Not even as like a little snack, I'm afraid to say. Okay. Keep on going, keep on processing all of these lovely chilies, my friends. Ever tried scorpion on a stick? I cannot say that I have, Rondo. I've tried just about every other meat. I've tried just about every other living seafood. And I will say bugs are just like the ones I keep coming back to consistently as, hey, this is actually a little bit difficult for me. And one day, if there is enough culinary merit, I'll give it a shot. I don't particularly have much of a need to be eating bugs at the moment. Ooh, guys, this chili, so dry, so dead. I'm going to just go ahead and get rid of it. We have no use for that. Okay. And go back through it. And this should be the last one. Arachnids or bug chef. I don't think I mind spiders as much. But spiders are still a little bit scary for me as well. They're still a little bit spooky. Yeah, if a chili is too dry and it like immediately snaps on contact and immediately crackles, that's a pretty good indication that's like a little bit too far gone by that point. And so, that one I was just happy to discard. I'll probably go ahead and get rid of the rest of those that are a little bit old, replace my stash, but that's okay. So, everybody, we have all of these lovely chilies, and before we do continue, there is one thing that I'm going to go ahead and quickly do, and that is I'm going to go ahead and boil some water in a kettle. We're going to go ahead and get some hot water, because the hot water is going to soak and reconstitute my chilies so that we can beautifully blend it up into our red sauce for today. So I'm going to heat that up, and everybody, before that gets heated up, what we're also going to do is we're actually going to toast these chilies, but we're going to be toasting them in the microwave. So, not a super traditional technique, but a microwave is a really, really quick way to easily toast your chilies. You can do it over an open flame, you can do it on a dry pan, but everybody, 15 seconds, flip them, 10 seconds, and that will be the perfect toast on the chilies. So, not super traditional, but I promise you, it's a really, really easy method. 15 seconds, that's all you need. Take them out, 10 seconds, and then you're good to go. And then we have to also go ahead and make sure that we have a proper vessel to go ahead and put these little guys into, once they're all ready to go, that is. So I'll just go ahead and grab a bowl that should be, at least theoretically, large enough to accommodate them. I'm gonna go back to my chilies that have just slightly toasted for 15 seconds. Everybody, just flip them over, move them around a little bit, just so that they can hopefully evenly toast up. And this helps to make them a little bit more aromatic. This helps to change the flavor of them slightly. Okay, there you go. And give them another 10 seconds of a toasting, my friends. And we'll put them in, we'll cut them up, and we'll go ahead and pour some hot water on it. The hot water soak on these is super, super important. It really helps to make sure that everything blends up really nice and easy. Because otherwise, they're not gonna blend up easy, and you are going to have a mess on your hands, okay? So, well, somehow, a bug has survived the microwave. I have no idea how that's physically possible. Oh my God. I'm not thinking about it too much. I got like lightheaded for a second, and then I was like, all right, great. I don't need to think about this anymore. Everybody, I'm just gonna take each of my lovely toasted chilies, and they smell like raisins at this point. They smell lovely. They smell so warm and aromatic. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and just get them into my little bowl. Make sure, hopefully, that there is no more bugs on them. I think that would be nice. But yeah, by the time that you buy them in the store, everybody, I have like these things like really nicely sealed and everything too. It is very normal for your chilies to have just a few of those little guys in them. So before anybody freaks out and goes, oh, it's not hygienic. It's literally fine. It is literally normal. Okay? They're small enough to dodge the waves. Well, thank you, microwave your head. I don't know if what you said is actually true. But I feel like there is some merit to it because it's long wave radiation. Can you wash them to get rid of the bugs? Sure you can, as long as you don't wash them before you toast them. Because washing them before you toast them is going to make it very difficult to actually toast them. Okay, so nice little small pieces, nice little small strips. Ooh, that is terrifying conceptually though, that they're able to survive that. So yeah, if all people to come in and microwave your head in chat, you are the resident microwave expert. So thank you for providing us with this information. I love it when I have like really like specific, really niche cooking questions or just any like niche science questions. And then somebody whose username is like quite literally built for this thing has the best answer for me. So I really appreciate it. Everybody, we have all of my chilies. We're going to go ahead and soak this bad boy with some nice hot water. And again, we might not necessarily use all of these chilies for today. This is just the quantity that I'll be using for my base, for my paste. It's been covered with some water. And everybody, last but not least, you're going to want to do one quick thing to it, which is please cover it with a little weight. Okay, please cover it with a little weight. I have a little plate, a little glass plate here. Pop it right on top, and that's just going to help keep everything nice and submerged inside. Because otherwise, we're gonna have some chilies that are poking up. They're going to, not actually get properly and evenly soaked through. And so, just slapping a little plate on them goes a long way. Everybody, let this soak until we're ready to blend, until we're ready to make the chili sauce itself. So I'm gonna go ahead and just put this bad boy behind me. Does anybody have any questions for me at the moment? Any questions, any comments, any concerns whatsoever? Please, if you do, now would be a lovely time to go ahead and ask me. So, everybody, what do we need to go ahead and do today? We need to make the dough. We need to make the masa for the homemade corn tortillas. And everybody, if you're not making your own homemade corn tortillas, it's really easy, it's really delicious, and it's something that I would love to get all of you into the habit of doing. Every time I made pozole with my own chili, it never comes out as good if I just use chipotle powder, so one day I hope that isn't the case. Archspire, my question is, how many chilies are you even using to begin with? When should you use dried chilies in place of fresh chilies? Really good question. So, Daddy, the answer is, fresh chilies, you don't typically get all of these very aromatic varietals of fresh chilies. You would use dried chilies in something. When you have a specific one that you're going for, it's a very difficult question to answer because there's a lot of fresh chilies and there's a lot of dried chilies. Fresh chilies, they don't taste raisiny. They don't taste nearly as aromatic, okay? The answer is, if you're making a paste, if you're making a blend out of something, then you would go ahead and use dried chilies. If the goal is to have like a vegetal component, if your goal is to have just like a spicy component, then you would use fresh chilies. But these are difficult to compare because the varietals of chilies that you would buy fresh are different from the varietals that you would buy dried. So it's difficult to answer your question is what I'm trying to say. So everybody, next up, we're gonna go ahead and make the dough for my tortillas today, okay? Super simple, super easy, and I want your full attention. I wanna hear everybody say yes, chef, to me right now, please, and thank you. So everybody, homemade corn tortillas, they're really easy to do. There are 2 ingredients. It's nixtamalized dried corn flour, aka masa maseca, as you would typically buy it, and water. There is no kneading. There is no rolling. You just mix it until it comes together. There is no exact ratio, and you cook it. Everybody should be doing their own homemade corn tortillas. Store-bought corn tortillas suck. They're so rubbery. They're so dry. They're just not a good, they're just not a good product. A freshly made corn tortilla is leagues and miles ahead. Now, I think making bread at home is typically really difficult and annoying. You need a lot of space, you need to roll things out. Making your own homemade corn tortillas, on the other hand, not so difficult at all. So everybody, we need just this and some warm water, and we're not even going to be using any measuring spoons. Okay? We're going to go ahead and just grab a bowl that is slightly too big. I'm going to go ahead and grab this little cup, this little teacup. Okay, and roughly the ratio that you're looking for is like a 1-to-1. 1-to-1 water to masa harina, and then I'm going to teach you how to actually test for the consistency of it. Making your own homemade corn tortillas is rewarding, it is easy, and it is above all else, my friends, really, really delicious. So, here's what we go ahead and do. We go ahead and we take, I'm not going to be doing a crazy amount of corn tortillas today. I'm only going to be just filling up this cup like so, maybe a little bit more. Again, I'm not going for a crazy amount. So the masa goes in, and everybody, we're going to leave it out just in case we need to adjust for the amount of moisture that we have going into these bad boys. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just close that off and put that behind us just in case we need some more of it. Close it off. Thank you very much. And everybody, all I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some nice hot water from my tap. Really, really basic, really simple. You don't want boiling water. You just want some nice hot water. It's going to really, really help to quickly hydrate the corn itself. Everybody, you can always add in more liquid, but it's more difficult to add in more of the dry component. A little bit of masa, a little bit of water. I'm going to do almost all of the water and just mix it. Just mix it, just mix it, mix it. Mix it really quickly, and then I'm going to go ahead and go in with my hand and adjust for the rest of it. Nice and easy. You can already see, my friends, it is so easily, so quickly coming together. We're not making a big batch of tortillas today. I'm only doing a little bit. Okay? Lovely. And everybody, all I'm going to go ahead and do is now I'm going to go ahead and grab a glove. I started off with a spoon because it's easier to mix in all of the wet ingredients. Before you do that, 2 ingredients, really, really simple. What do you think of these super expensive kitchen machines? Shark Dog, I'm not sure what you're asking. Are you talking about mixers? So everybody, get it in there, get it to all come together, break up the dry clumps, and in no time your dough is going to form. I can already tell you that this dough is going to need a little bit more liquid, so we're going to do a little bit at a time, my friends. And so, what do I think about actually buying a mixer? So let me tell you something. Archspire, this is a red masa. It's very, very beautiful. Here's my thoughts, Shark Dog, on getting a mixer. First of all, it is very useful if you are doing baking in any sort of large quantities. Mixing by hand, especially bread doughs, is a little bit difficult. I will say though, the KitchenAid mixer has been very noticeably decreasing in quality over the past however many years. The KitchenAid is not the hallmark of kitchen equipment like it once used to be. KitchenAids now, they break a lot. There's this really, really good, I believe this is like a Swedish mixer. I forgot the name of it that I had my eye on for a little bit. But Shark Dog, my answer is, it really just depends. If you don't like the process of kneading and you're doing it often enough that you don't want to go ahead and go through the process, then do it. Something like this, there is no risk of over-mixing. So, much about nothing. You just asked me, is there a risk of over-mixing this? The answer is no. That is the beauty of homemade corn tortillas. Normally, with gluten, you can easily over-mix it. And it gets too tense and it gets too chewy. This has no gluten. This is all corn and water, my friends. And because it's nixtamalized corn, it gets this really nice tacky dough-like consistency instead of just becoming a batter. Okay, no gluten whatsoever, purely starch and water, and yet it's all coming together. So, are there any colors of masa? Yes, there's white, yellow, blue, and red. And I don't think there's green masa, but red, anything that's like from purple to blue, something along those lines, red, yellow, and orange I sometimes see as well. Lando, the only thing that sticks is making any of this for my mom. She's a type 1 diabetic and hates the spiciness of pickled ginger. I swear she lives off of broccoli and eggs. So Lando, are you saying that you want more dishes that you could do for somebody that has like type 1 diabetes? and then somebody that's like a little bit more difficult with like spicy foods. Is that what you're saying, Glendo? So everybody, this dough is already too dry, but I'm going to teach you how to test for it. Okay? So take a look. We take a little ball of it and we press it down. You see how the edges crack? That's a good indication that the dough is a little bit too dry. So we're going to add in more liquid. If the dough significantly sticks to your hands, that's a good indication that it's too wet and you would need a little bit more masa. So my friends, get it in there, push it in, mix it all in. Takes no time at all. Also, Sunny Peach Crush, welcome on in. It is lovely and beautiful to have you as always. So take it and mix it and mix it and mix it and mix it. And we're not making a lot of tortillas today. I'm only going to make a few. I don't know if they'll come out all that well today, but I suppose we'll see. I suppose we'll find out. This is just like mixing clay and Play-Doh. In fact, I'm pretty sure Play-Doh is made out of corn. I don't know if somebody could fact check me on that, but it is the same exact texture. Okay, so take it. Get it in there, my friends, mix it up. And remember, you cannot overmix this. You can't overmix this. You physically cannot overmix this. So mix it to your heart's content. Just make sure there's no dry spots. Make sure there's no clumps. So keep spreading it out and keep it going. There's no wrong way to do this, but you can definitely end up undermixing it. So when in doubt, just keep going. Keep going, keep mixing until we have a really, really beautiful masa for my tortillas today. Okay, we're almost done, my friends. We're almost done, we're almost done, we're almost done. Okay, and let's go ahead and take a look and see how the dough is doing. So everybody, once again, we take a little ball of masa, we roll it up in our hands, we press it down, we make sure that the edges aren't cracking. Look how beautiful and smooth my edges are. And then we make sure it's not sticking to my hands. There's no residue on my hands. Nice and clean, nice and easy. And everybody, this is my little ball of masa. That's all that we're going to need for today. She's perfect, she's beautiful, and above all else, she is all ready to go for today. So, balled up, all done. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this with some plastic wrap, everybody. And ideally, you would wait at least 20 to 30 minutes or so. You need the corn now to basically soak up the water. The corn needs to hydrate. So we're not resting it to relax the gluten or anything like that, but we are resting it so that the corn can soak it up. I have lost my plastic wrap again for the millionth time. It is back behind the fridge. I had to get on my tippy toes to get it. It's not easy being 6'2". My fridge is 7 foot tall. I am 6'2", by the way, for anybody that didn't know that. And all I'm gonna do is just grab some plastic wrap and wrap up the masa. Nice and easy. But yeah, I have a giant refrigerator for some reason. I don't think anybody really needs a 6 or 7 foot tall refrigerator. Chef, you said 6'7" last time? No, Liam, I'm 6'2". I've never said I was 6'7", I'm 6'2". Also, hi Kaze, welcome on in. I'm shorter than I look. Wow, brutal. So everybody, here's my masa. Plastic wrap so it doesn't dry out. Also, Dosky, have a great weekend as well. Thank you so much for stopping by. It is lovely to have you as always. Everybody, all this needs maseka and water, nixtamalized corn. Nice and easy with a little bit of water until the dough comes together. Does anybody have any more questions about it? We're gonna go ahead and leave it for at least 20 minutes, but we'll come back to this later on and then finish making the tortillas. The resting stage is so important in actually just making sure that it doesn't, so that the dough is not too dry. You need to let it go ahead and soak all of it up. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put my cutting board back on down because my friends, we have a lot more prep coming up ahead of us for today, for my pozole. We have to finish making the sauce, the red sauce itself. I have some vegetables that I wanted to cut up and saute. Sauteing vegetables in a pozole is not necessarily the most traditional. Normally it's just like a boiled pork stew, but everybody, I had leftover bell pepper and I had leftover onions. So I'm gonna break tradition. I'm gonna break some convention. I'm gonna be doing my pozole in a slightly inauthentic way. And guess what? That's okay. It's okay. We're cooking at home. It's still gonna be delicious. Bell peppers and onions are not gonna necessarily ruin my pozole. It's just not. Okay? And so, as a result, we get to do whatever we want. But everybody, really quickly, before we continue, I'm going to take a second and just throw a couple of things into my dishwasher, get them out of sight, get them out of mind, and so that we can proceed. Because remember, when you cook at home, you have to. You absolutely must. It is not an option. You must clean as you go. Clean as you go, and you will not end up with a mess later on. Okay? So, everybody, I have all of this lovely produce right here. And all I'm going to go ahead and do, I have a leftover serrano. Let's add the serrano into the pozole. Why not? Even though it's a pozole rojo, normally a pozole verde has it. We're going to be using this and this. And I also have some onion and garlic. What's a good Chinese cleaver thing that I can also use as a bench scraper? Well, Shark Dog, my answer is I wouldn't use it as a bench scraper because dragging it against the wood will always end up dulling your knife. So you would just want to get a cleaver with a flat top so that you wouldn't actually use the blade, but just to wedge it up. That's what I would recommend. You could use the back of it, just the back of it doesn't really protrude very easily and the handle could get in the way. So I would just get like a front side of it. So imagine this is my knife and this is the front side. I would get something with a nice flat edge here. That's what I would do if that's what you're looking to do. Okay, everybody, vegetables, all that I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna process it. I'm going to do a medium dice. I want some chunks in there. This pozole doesn't have any pork in it, doesn't have any meat in it. And so I want to make up for some of the lost texture. It's just going to be beans in there. So we're going to do a nice medium dice on my lovely green bell pepper. Everybody, again, not traditional to include this in a pozole rojo at all, but I'm going to be doing it anyways because I would love just another texture. I would love another something to bite into. Okay? Yeah, cut that lengthwise one more time. Cut that lengthwise one more time, and everybody just chunk it up, chunk it up, chunk it up. It's a soup. This is a stew at the end of the day. Let's not overcomplicate this like crazy. Okay? There you go. That's right, Chai Chica. You got it. Just chunk it up, chunk it up, chunk it up, chunk it up, just like so. And everybody, I'm going to do the same exact thing with the other onion, as well as the serrano. Chef, did we completely move away from the old Twitch channel? We sure did. Everybody, if you're not following this current channel, if you're here from the raid, please follow Daramgar TV. This is not Daramgaria. Please don't confuse the two. We will be moving away from the old channel, and this is the new. So everybody, my serrano, I'm going to do the same exact thing to it. Nice small dice this time around. Just something for us to be able to bite into. We're not going too crazy with this. And we're going to do the same exact thing for my onion. We're going to fan it out, everybody. I have these 2 quarters, root attached. Make some incisions, make some incisions, make some incisions, make some incisions, and dice it, and dice it, and dice it, and dice it. Just like so. Nice and easy. She all comes off. Right? It's a soup. It's a stew at the end of the day. Which channel is the evil twin? There is no evil twin. They're all beautiful in their own way. Take it, chunk it up, and dice it, and dice it, and dice it, and dice it. Beautiful, beautiful. Just like that, my friends. Nice and easy. These are going to be the vegetables for my base today. Again, not the most traditional thing in the world, but I wanted to use up my existing leftovers. Instead of preserving authenticity, remember that you're cooking at home. And when you cook at home, you don't have the luxury of always being like, well, I'm not going to use this and this because it's authentic. I'm going to use up things before they go bad. Okay? That is what it means to cook at home. So, grab your bench scraper. If you don't have this tool, you're making a big mistake. We're going to go ahead and just scoop up all of my vegetables and put them onto my transfer plate for later. Okay? Excellent. Everybody, let's go ahead and probably finish making the chili paste. Let's go ahead and finish making the chili sauce. And in order to do so, I'm going to go ahead and get some cumin in there. As for the actual seasonings and the actual flavors that you want inside of your pozole, inside of your red chili sauce, those are quite customizable. In my case, I just want to do some cumin and nothing more. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and grab a little pan. Just like so. And everybody, I'm going to be going ahead and toasting my cumin seeds. We're going to get a nice big pinch or 2 of cumin seeds. Get them in there. Maybe 1 more little pinch. Beautiful. And we're going to go ahead and toast them. We're going to toast them until it gets nice and fragrant. This helps to develop the flavor a little bit. This does give it a bit of a toasted flavor, so it's not just straight raw cumin. So everybody, heat it goes. Nice medium heat. And when you're toasting spices, keep it moving. you don't want to leave it still for too long because this is a dry pan with a flat bottom. If you don't keep this moving, the spices are just going to burn on one side, and everybody, that is not what I'm looking for today. So keep it moving, keep it moving, keep it, dare I say, some might even be saying grooving. Okay, keep it moving until we see some very, very slight smoke. Light, little tiny wisps of smoke, my friends. Okay? That's all. Keep it going. Keep it going. Let it do its thing. Let it do its thing. Let it happen. And just get it nice and toasted. Now, another really nice addition would be some Mexican oregano. I, for whatever reason, cannot find my oregano today. So while not like a make or break for this kind of a dish, this dish is all about the chili paste. It is a little bit unfortunate that I don't have any oregano, or at least oregano that I could find. Keep it toasting, everybody. Keep it toasting. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. We're almost done. Not enough smoke yet. Just very, very slight wisps of smoke, my friends. So keep it shaking, keep it shaking, keep it shaking. And again, this step, not the most necessary in the world, but it does help to develop the flavor of the cumin. Normally, when you're cooking and you're sautéing, and you get to sauté your spices with the vegetables, that's really nice. That's a nice way to develop it. But because this is going straight into the paste itself, there will be no time to sauté it. Chef, I have to open a merch store with all of my cool shirts. I don't know if there will ever be a Daramgar merch store. But that does sound very fun, doesn't it? These are just t-shirts I picked up from living my life. Guys, live your life. Find your cool graphic t-shirts from simply being alive. That's all that you need. Keep it toasting. Keep it doing its thing, my friends. And let's see. Not yet. We still don't even have smoking yet. Keep it moving, keep it moving, keep it moving. Almost done, my friends. And now I can feel the smell hitting me. Now I can see the smoke. That is now beautifully toasted. So all that we really have left to do is to go ahead and grind this into a lovely little powder. I'm going to go ahead and get my spice grinder all set up. Everybody, this is a kitchen tool that I love dearly. I'm going to go ahead and show this to you. This is my cute little spice grinder. This is basically just a repurposed coffee grinder. Spice grinders are really, really nice things to have in a kitchen because it lets you easily grind down whole spices. Whole spices, everybody, they have so much more flavor than their pre-ground counterparts. In the kitchen, especially with spices, the more that it's chopped or ground, the quicker it loses flavor. Pre-ground spices, they lose their flavor so much faster than whole spices. Also, pre-ground spices, they don't really let you toast the husk of it as much because it's already been ground. I'm just going to go ahead and wipe off the existing spices that were in here. Wipe it off. You don't need to wash your spice grinder or anything. So just wiping it off because it has some of the other spices from when I was doing Indian food a couple of times ago. A couple of streams ago, rather. And everybody, let's go get my spice grinder all set up. All ready to go because we got to get it done at this point. And we'll make the chili paste and it will be delicious. Okay, spice grinder all set up. Let's go ahead and grind, my friends. So, spice grinder, spices go in, all my lovely little cumin seeds, all of it inside, tap, 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 tap. And all that we need to do is just grind it until it's done. Slap that lid on, plug it in, and grind. Grind it until you have a beautiful spice powder. Give it an occasional shake. It's not a lot of spice in there, my friends. So pick it up, close it, and shake, 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 shake. And that's going to really, really help to evenly grind everything. Normally, these are meant for coffee beans. Coffee beans are a lot bigger than spices are. Shark Dog, is it better than a mortar and pestle? It's definitely more efficient. Mortar and pestles, I realize they're nice. For example, if you want like crushed peppercorns and you don't want it completely ground into a powder. Spice grinders, they don't do a good job of just crushing things, but it gets you a nice homogeneous powder. So the answer is, in this use case, I would say that it's better, it's more efficient. But I wouldn't use this if I was making an au poivre, which is a steak that is crusted with black pepper, right? And I wouldn't use that then because the goal there is for, you get like chunky peppercorns. So that is all done, my friends. My lovely spice mixture of just cumin, not really a mixture. It's just straight ground cumin. I'm gonna go ahead and get this out into a little container, and then we'll blend the chilies, we'll blend the cumin, and we'll also blend in some garlic to make my delicious spice paste, my friends. So take it and tap it all out. Tap, 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 tap. Come on, buddy. Get out of there, get in there, do your thing. Thank you. And it's not a lot of ground cumin, but above all else, my friends, it is delicious. It is delicious. It is freshly ground. It is so much better than many of its counterparts, right? Of its already pre-ground counterparts. It's got that delicious toasted smell to it. Smells lovely. Nice and aromatic, nice and earthy. Cumin, it has to be my favorite spice, I have to say. I love the earthiness of cumin. I love the flavor. I can never have too much cumin in something, it feels like, at least. Okay. So, just going ahead and wiping off my spice grinder. Again, you don't really need to wash it. You're never blending anything wet inside of one of these. You just want to wipe off all of the dried spices from it. You never need to use soap, nothing like that, unless you somehow make a mess on it. Okay? And I'll get that put away. And everybody, it is going to be time for us to blend the chilies, to be able to blend everything together beautifully. We have the cumin. Next thing that we're also going to need is we're going to need some garlic cloves going directly inside of the chili paste. And I'm going to want plenty of garlic. I love garlic, and you should too. Okay? So let's go ahead and get that in there. That roasting part requires constant attention. It sure does, Sunny Peach Crush. But it only takes a minute or two. It's really quick. It's really easy. Anybody can do it. Okay? So, gonna go ahead and crack these guys open. Crack them open, crack them open. Come on. Ooh, these garlic cloves, a little bit troublesome today. Okay, and so for my chili paste, my friends, I think I'm going to do roughly, I don't know, 4 cloves of garlic or so. Something like that, completely eyeballing it. We're cooking at home. We're never measuring anything. Shark Dog, I've never made black garlic before. A very nice way to do so is if you have a dehydrator. You have a dehydrator, you let that go for a little bit, or I believe you can also do it in a rice cooker. It just takes a long time, and you need something constantly plugged in. So, garlic, crush it, and crush it, and crush it. And why do we crush it? We crush it so that we can easily peel it, my friends, so that the cloves just pop out from their skins, from whence they came. Pop them out, each and every single one of these bad boys. Pop them out, because we don't want any of that garlic skin in our final product, of course. And we're basically making a pseudo salsa. It's not going to be a very delicious salsa, right? Because it's just chilies and garlic. There's like no acidity. There's no fresh herbs in there. So this is a base salsa that you could use to go ahead and cook other things with. This would be the base enchilada sauce that you would go ahead and use to make really delicious enchiladas, my friends. Enchilada sauce is not based on tomatoes. The sauce for an enchilada is based off of this chili paste. Guys, people don't know. People do not know how much chilies are important in Mexican cuisine. And I'm not just talking about jalapenos and serranos, none of that boring stuff. I mean guajillos, I mean pasillas, I mean chipotles, my friends. Each of these dried chilies, they have a different flavor. They have a different flavor, and they have something different to say. Okay? So all of my garlic cloves, nicely cut up, nicely ready to go. And I believe it'll be time for us to begin assembling everything for my chili paste. So, really simple, nothing crazy. We're just blending chilies and garlic and cumin. You could do it with chicken broth if you wanted to. You could do this with some other spices. You could do it with the Mexican oregano. You could add in, basically, at the stage, anything that you want. Anything that you want at all. But in my case, everybody, I'm keeping it classic. I'm going to be keeping it really, really simple. And so, I'm going to go ahead and grab my nice big blender cup. Everybody, this is my pride and joy, my new kitchen toy, my gorgeous, my beautiful Vitamix. I love this thing. I love this thing to death, and I'm so happy I finally own one. Shout outs to Catholic Queen for helping to sponsor that. Okay, so everybody, my big, beautiful Vitamix blender, all ready to go, begging to go ahead and blend something, and we're going to go in with all of my chilies. So everybody, really important safety tip, I need to hear a nice yes, chef. If you do not have an open top blender like I do, I have a Vitamix. This is an open top blender. If it's a closed blender like a NutriBullet, you need to wait for this to completely cool down. You cannot blend, I'm gonna say this again, you can't blend hot things inside of a closed blender. It builds up too much pressure. It can burst. It's bad for the blender. Vitamixes are built to run not boiling hot, but they're definitely built to run warm/hot, okay? So all that hot water, I'm gonna go ahead and just get rid of this little plate because I don't really have much use for this at the moment. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and get all of my chilies inside. Chef, what is a good blender? A Vitamix Shark Dog. Here's the reality of it. There's gonna be very few home kitchen appliances that are as good as a Vitamix at the end of the day. And so my advice to you would be get something cheaper, get a NutriBullet, get like a Ninja Bullet or something. Get like a Breville or whatever. But ultimately, people should maybe be saving up for a Vitamix. I don't mean to be like, oh, all pretentious and elitist about it. Vitamixes just have a really, really good blender. They have a really good motor. You have a Bombix? I don't know what a Bombix is. Actually, everybody, one thing I am going to check is I am going to check the temperature of my chilies because I don't want this water to be like past 170 degrees or so. If it is, then that could potentially damage the blender. So as long as we're staying somewhere below 170, which I do believe is the case, this is like 123 degrees, I can just go ahead and dump that in. Dump it in, dump it all in, my friends. Get that into the blender. Dump it in alongside the cumin and, of course, my lovely garlic cloves. Get them all inside, my friends. Get it inside, and we're gonna go ahead and top it off, cap it off, and get blending with our lovely chili paste. Okay, so I'm not gonna need this tool. Is there a reason to not strain the water before putting it in? Well, Archspire, that liquid is super, super flavorful. That liquid is all of the chili soaking liquid. And so we need all of that liquid to get the full spice paste consistency, the chili paste consistency that we want. We soaked it in that liquid. We basically made like a broth of some sort. And if we don't, if we just did it with regular water, we would end up wasting a lot of that flavor. So this is ready to go. Everybody, I'm gonna go get my blending station all set up as well at the moment. Just put this bad boy back on down, get my nice big Vitamix motor, all ready to go for today, all stable. And everybody, let's go ahead and blend this thing until it is nice and beautifully homogeneous. So, really, really important, you wanna have one of these little guys. This is going to stop it from splashing up, at least initially, but this also allows the steam to vent. It allows the steam to escape. I've realized that you guys can barely see it. It's really tall, it's really huge, but we'll get there. I promise you that. Make sure that it's off, plug it in. Everybody start off on the lowest possible speed. When you have big chunks, you want to start on a low speed because if you start on a high speed, it's going to splash all over the place. So low speed, turn it on. Okay, initially you put it down all the way just to make sure that nothing splashes back up at you. And now, my friends, we can slowly begin incrementing the speed. Get everything stuffed back in the, get it all stuffed back in, get it all stuffed back in. And highest speed. All blended up, my friends. Blend it up, blend it up, blend it up, blend it up. All of it's gotta get blended. All of it's gotta go. Until we have a beautiful spice paste. Get everything inside. All those chunks, all of them in. And stop. Everybody, I think that has been properly blended. And the last thing that we're going to do is we're going to strain it. We're going to strain out all of the excess pulp, any of the seeds that might have been remaining inside. And the reason why we're doing that is just because it helps to make the final texture that much nicer. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this little guy out. Everybody, please say thank you to Mr. Vitamix. Please and thank you. I am going to go ahead and put him away. And we're going to strain it out And that will then be perfect for my pozole. Okay. I'm gonna just quickly rinse out my soaking bowl that had like the chili soaking in it and whatnot. I could probably just be using a bigger bowl for that, I think. This bowl might be a little too small as it is. So I'll grab a slightly larger bowl and we'll strain it out. Okay, everybody, bowls set up. I'm gonna go get a nice fine mesh metal strainer. Really, really important. Metal strainer is gonna help make sure that everything comes out nice and smooth, nice and dainty. Okay, and then we'll just push it all out. We'll push it out, be done with it, and then move on to all the other stuff that we need to do today. I need to go ahead and take out my tamper, my little tool that pressed everything down. I need to go ahead and get the top of my Vitamix off. And let's go ahead and pour this good stuff in, my friends. This beautiful, flavorful. This is the heart and the soul of a pozole, my friends. This is where it is. This is where it's at. Okay? We can just go ahead and hopefully get some more of this stuff scooped out. We don't want to waste any of it, hopefully. Get all of it out, all of it out, all of it out, or at least as much as reasonably possible. Okay, everybody, really quickly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just quickly rinse this out with some water, and then we'll give it a full proper cleaning in a second. I just want to do that just to get rid of any of like the really, really big chunks of chilies left over inside. I'm going to take that out, and then we'll wash that in a second. We'll wash it together because the best time to clean your blender is just about immediately after. It's okay, Shark Dog. Thank you for being here. Thank you for stopping by. Everybody, all that we have to do, just pass it through the mesh. Pass it through, pass it through, pass it through. This is going to get rid of any and all pulp, and we're going to be left with this really gorgeous, beautiful spice paste. This is the heart and soul of a pozole rojo, my friends. This is where it's at. This is it. This is where the magic is, my friends. Okay? Chef, what would you cook if you got caught cheating? Asking for a friend. Sunny Peach Crush? That's a difficult question. Oh, well, I mean, clearly, like, this is like a joke, like, oh, what would you cook for somebody if you got caught cheating? It's just like, I don't think I can get caught cheating because I'm very good about it, so it's kind of a difficult question for me to answer since I'm very good about it in terms of being communicative, not being good at cheating, that is. So I don't know. I don't know how to answer your question even as a bit. I don't really know. Everybody, so you see we were left with all of this pulp, all of this stuff. It would have not made our pozole nice and smooth and elegant and creamy. So this stuff we can all very confidently discard. I'm gonna go ahead and get this bad boy put into the sink and then subsequently into my dishwasher as well. So please give me a minute. Whoop, hello. You'd cook for one? I see. Godzilla says pretty clever. That was pretty funny. Okay, everybody, I'm going to go ahead and just really, really quickly rinse my stuff off. Because remember, when you are blending things, the best time to clean was yesterday. Do not leave stuff to dry onto your blender, especially pureed smoothies and pastes. If you guys, I have a question. How many of you have ever made a smoothie or any time have blended something and then you accidentally let it dry and then cleaning it became difficult? How many of you has that happened to? I have a question. I want to hear a nice resounding me, chef, if that has happened to you. Okay, the best time to clean it is now. Clean it now before your stuff dries off. Rinse it off now. You don't have to do a full clean. Just get those solids off. Guys, pureeing things is such magic in the kitchen up until you actually have to go ahead and clean it once it's dried off. So clean now. Clean yesterday. All right, so I'm just getting rid of all that pulp. Also, is there any use for the pulp? So, Trash Can Cat Mom, the answer is you could theoretically have just kept the pulp. It just has a not great texture to it, is the only reason why we took it away, nothing else other than texture. So the answer is, yeah, it has a use. Don't strain it, right? That I guess is just my answer to your question. Everybody, look at my chili paste. Look at this chili paste. This is basically like a really, really beautiful salsa, right? We have this incredible assortment of chilies. We have some garlic in there and some freshly ground cumin. This is where the magic is. This is the heart and the soul of a beautiful pozole. By itself, probably not all that delicious at this stage, but it will be, and it will get there. Okay, so a couple of things I just quickly rinsed out. I'm gonna go ahead and just clean up my blender cup as well, everybody, because again, so much easier to clean it when it's already still wet. If you leave it to dry, you will be left with nothing but regret and sadness. And everybody, I don't think that's what we're looking for. I don't want regret and sadness in my meal. So, I'm gonna be blending it again. Chef, can we refrigerate that chili? Shani Peach Crush, I'm gonna go ahead and take you another step. You could refrigerate it, but it doesn't last long. You could freeze this in ice cubes. Freeze it in ice cubes, freeze it, and then save it for later. Save it for enchiladas, save it for stews, save it to make a chili with. This is what chili should be based on. A chili con carne, right? Your chili with beans and stuff. This is what it's based off of. So absolutely refrigerate it, but preferably you would freeze it to keep it for even longer, is my bit of advice for you. Okay, I am gonna go ahead and just get everything nice and cleaned up. So please forgive me for a moment. And then we'll do a recap session, begin making the pozole, work on some of the other accoutrements, some of the garnishes for it. Today's not gonna be the craziest, most intensive shroom of all time. Today's just on the gentle side of things. Okay. So I'll get my blender all situated once more, just to be able to do the final cleaning, my friends. This is the best way to clean a blender, by the way, which is get your blender back set up again, fill it up with some warm water about halfway through with some soap inside of it as well, set it on. Okay, let's go ahead and slap the top of it on as well while we're at it. Again, really, really good way to easily clean these sorts of things. Hello, the blade just got caught for a second. Here we go, and just clean it up, my friends. Just clean it. Best way to get the blade all cleaned up. Get all of the edges, get everything out of there. It's gonna fill up, it's gonna flood with all of that soapy water. And just let it go for a few minutes. Maybe 20 more seconds. Yeah, Shy Chica, it's the easiest way to clean a blender. So easy. It gets under the blade. Cleaning under the blade is such a hassle. This is the best way to get stuff under the blade itself. Okay, beautiful, soapy water, all done. Let's just go ahead and dump that out into the sink and I'll dry it. So everybody, I apologize for all of the cleaning. I hope you're all still here. I hope you're all still with me. I'm really, really enjoying today. I like the fact that we don't actually have like a crazy amount of things to do today. I like how gentle this is. And everybody, if today goes well, we'll absolutely make pozole again in the future. I love pozole. I love eating pozole. It is such a treat. It is such a magical dish. It really, really is. So please forgive me as I go ahead and I take a moment. I'm going to just be rinsing off my blender, getting all of that soapy water out of there and gone. And then I'll be leaving it to dry. So just one moment. Everybody, are you all still watching? I want to hear a nice yes, chef, even if I'm away for a second. Chef, we have no proof that you have no legs that are just not like floating around. That is true. You guys don't know it, but I could just be levitating the whole time. You have not seen my legs, and it'll stay that way. Okay? Everybody, this is how you keep your equipment lasting a long time. You don't have to worry about off smells. Don't let your food dry to the blender. Don't let it dry to the food processor. Clean it now, and you will thank yourself in the future. Your future you deserves a bit of a break. It doesn't smell like chilies. There's no smell stuck inside of it. Clean those blenders. Not enough people do it. It seems so obvious, and yet I barely see anybody doing this properly. Okay? So many people. They just completely neglect this, and that is just not okay. So, giving everything a nice little rinse off. Everybody will be just one more moment, and then I'll leave it to dry. And then we can go on with actually making the pozole itself. But first, we'll do a bit of a recap session. So everybody, My inspiration for today came from the fact that I had a bunch of leftovers in my fridge. I had leftover peppers, I had leftover beans. I want to do something really, really fun, and so thus I decided to do a pozole rojo de frijoles. Okay, not traditional to do a pozole with beans, but this is a variation that you do see in some households. We made this really, really beautiful chili paste, not chili powder. No, 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 no. This is made from guajillo, pasilla, and ancho chilies with some garlic and freshly toasted cumin. It's chocolatey, it's raisiny. This is really beautiful stuff. We also are going to be making our own tortillas. So I prepared a little bit of maseca, some masa harina, for the tortillas themselves. And everybody, we already have these beans ready to go for today. But now we must go ahead and begin sauteing all of my vegetables for the pozole. So let's go ahead and begin. Everybody, as always, I have one of my favorite kitchen tools of all time, my Mavier pan. Ready to go. Let's go ahead and put this bad boy onto a nice medium heat. Do not blast it with heat. Do not go with a high heat. Medium heat so that everything heats up nicely and gently and evenly. And now we have a choice of which cooking fat we can use. So traditionally, pozole is made with pork. Pozole is made with pork traditionally, and when you cook the pork, you have all of that beautiful pork fat that comes out. I am not making a pozole with pork today. It is not the most authentic pozole. Instead, I'm going to just be using the tastiest kitchen fat that I have, which is just some ghee, just basically some butter that's been clarified. Okay? Because I want the nice tasty fat, everybody. I want this stew to have real serious flavor to it. I don't want to use vegetable oil. I don't want to use peanut oil. I don't want to use any of these bland, neutral cooking oils that add nothing to the dish. I'm intentionally using the tastiest fat I have available to me because it just makes the final product that much better. So I'm going to go in with a very generous amount of that ghee. And yes, Archspire, ghee spelled G-H-E-E. The reason ghee is used, I'll explain to you. Butter naturally has, it's not a pure fat. It's not purified. It has what's called milk solids, these little proteins and sugars, and then it also has some amount of water weight. Clarified butter is purely evaporating the water, and then you strain out the solids. The difference between ghee and clarified butter is that in ghee, the milk solids are a little bit toasted, and then they get strained out. And by toasting them ever so slightly first, what you then obtain is just something a lot nuttier. It's really, really delicious. It's a lot nuttier, and it's wonderful. You do love hominy, but you gotta go? That's okay, Godzillas. We'll still have a VOD as always. So thank you for stopping by. It's lovely to have you here. I hope you have a lovely night. Okay, so let's go ahead and get that ghee. And guys, oh no, is clarified butter traditionally used in Mexican cuisine? No, but who cares? This is my household. If not ghee, I would have used something like olive oil. Traditionally, again, you would have all of that beautiful pork fat. You would have the pork fat that would come out of cooking the pork itself. I don't have access to such pork fat at the moment. This is a mostly vegetarian pozole. And so as a result, subsequently, I am just using ghee. And that's okay. And quite frankly, that is all right. We are allowed to break conventions. This is home cooking. I have ghee. I'm not going to go out of my way to go buy lard to go make this as authentic as possible. I am not going to go ahead and do that. I am making it authentic to my home kitchen. You have to first and foremost always use what you have first before you go and buy something else. Cooking at home is a compromise. Cooking at home is a compromise always, always, always. You can't always make what you want. And that is something that I want to keep teaching, that I want to keep spelling out for all of you. So, put a few things away. Chef, could I throw marrow into this? Turina, pozole with bone marrow, maybe with some like beef shanks. Turina, that sounds phenomenal. That sounds beautiful. Absolutely you can. So on a technical level, you can ask me, can you do something? But, if it's authentic to a dish or not, and I'll always say it is. Everglee, welcome on in. It is lovely to have you, as always, just as your tag suggests, Everglee always. Exclamation mark menu didn't seem to work the first time. Guys, are my commands broken? I think it's because we had somebody ask for the menu a little bit too recently. I'm not sure why. So everybody, we're heating this ghee up on a medium heat. We never, especially on stainless steel, never use a high heat. The goal is to get it evenly heated up so there's no hot spots and cool spots. If you blast the whole thing with heat all at once, you're going to end up with hot spots and cool spots and uneven cooking as a result. Okay, so what do we actually have left to do for the pozole? Here's the order of operations. First thing that we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and saute my lovely onions, green bell peppers, and serranos. They're going to be sauteed in there. These are not the most classic components in a pozole rojo. Once again, typically green chilies, they would be used in a pozole verde, a green pozole. But the reason why I'm using all of this is because this is what I currently have access to. I had this onion, this leftover onion in my fridge. I had this leftover green bell pepper. And because I don't have chunks of meat, I wanted to get chunks of something else involved and into the mix and into the party. My ghee is nice and hot. I'm going to go ahead and get all of my lovely vegetables inside. And we're going to begin sauteing them. What we're really looking to do is to get them nice and golden brown, my friends. Okay, we don't need them caramelized. We don't need super, super deep color. We don't need them softened until they're non-existent. We just want to get a nice saute on this. So, in goes all of my lovely bell peppers and all my lovely onions. All of it goes in. All of it in, all of it in. Excellent. Not the most authentic, not the most traditional, but I had it left over. I had it sitting around, and so I want to go ahead and use it before it goes bad. Hydrate. Thank you, Duolingo, for the reminder. But everybody, as this is sauteing, really quickly, one addition, we're going to need some salt in this bad boy. We're going to help pull out the moisture out of the vegetables, make everything nice and seasoned so that we don't get bland veggies. Because, chat, we don't want bland veggies, do we? So get it in there, mix it all up, and just let it do its thing now. Break it up. It's going to lose volume. It's going to start sauteing really soon, I promise. Nice medium, medium low. And everybody, now is the stage where it begins to release water. This is the evaporation stage. When the vegetables are wet, they won't pick up significant color, but you give them a little bit of time. It collapses, you evaporate the liquid, and it's all set and all ready to go. Also, Shy Chica, lovely to have you back. Welcome, welcome once again. And in the meantime, we're going to get all of my other components ready to go for today. Everybody, I'm really excited for my pozole. It's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be amazing. So let's go ahead and prep a few other things because we have a second of time right now. I have this garlic here. I want to do some additional garlic to fry in. We have some garlic in the paste itself, but food changes when you fry it in fat. Food changes when you toast it. Food changes when you imbue it with that. Okay? Ooh. Everybody, my vegetables, my onions, my bell peppers, all of it smells lovely at the moment, but it's going to need some considerable time to get all of that water extracted. That smells excellent. Okay. Where is my favorite kitchen tool? Where is my handy dandy little garlic press? As always, everybody, garlic press. Never chopping garlic is so much effort. It is so annoying. So all we grab is a bench scraper and we smack it down. We grab a bench scraper and we go ahead and smack it down. And now that it's been smacked down, all that we have to go ahead and do is just peel it up. Peel it up, peel it up, peel it up. Get all of the skin off of the clove. That's why we go ahead and smash it, even though we're putting it through a garlic press. Okay? We're going to cut off the dried off butts of each of my garlic cloves. Dried off butts, off they go. And into my little condiment cup, everybody, will be my garlic cloves. In she goes. Crush it, get it in there, crush it, and get it in there. And we only need 2 because the chili paste has plenty of garlic inside of it as it is. Get it all in there, get it all set, get it all ready to go for today. And everybody, the rule that I taught you about washing a blender, it applies to your garlic as well. Okay? All that you really ever need to do is just take it, wash it when it is wet. Poke the holes with a little vegetable brush. Do not let it dry. You let it dry, and then it is just going to be so much more difficult to clean later on. Rinse it off now, rinse it off when it's wet, and you will be thanking yourself later. Think of the future you. Think of you, my friends. You want to look out for yourself. You want to look out for your best interests. Okay? My vegetables are sauteing beautifully. We're going to get them nice and golden, nice and delicious. Get that bell pepper back in there. The onion is going to make my pozole nice and sweet. The bell peppers are going to be a nice, delicious vegetable bite. The serranos in there for some additional heat. And we used up leftovers. That is the beauty of home cooking, guys. Guess what? I had leftover beans. I had leftover onion. I had leftover bell pepper. I had leftover chili. And so we're using all of that in service of this pozole today. That is what satisfying home cooking is. I love opening the fridge and seeing when it's empty. We're cleaning up our canvas, guys. Your refrigerator is an ecosystem that you need to manage. You can put in things in there that you love to cook with. Just use them before they go bad. Use them before they go bad and you will build up that amazing ecosystem. I love the feeling of looking in my fridge and realizing, hey, this is empty. I ate everything before it went bad. I used everything before it went bad. I saved money and now I get to go ahead and buy whatever I want. That is why we cook the way that we do. We don't every single day just go, today I want this dish, I want pad thai today, and then I want tacos tomorrow, and then I want to make pho, and then I want curry. Those are all ingredients from vastly different cuisines, from vastly different parts of the world. There is no fridge in the world that can accommodate all of those different things at once without something at some point inevitably going bad. So by doing it this way, everybody, we're being smart, we're being economical, we're making the most out of the things that we already have. And now all that we need is just a very, very slight golden brown on the onions. Okay? So yeah, use that produce. Use it before it goes bad. You don't want to throw things away, guys. Okay? Oh, I love cooking. I really, really do. I love cooking. I love the fact that this is just something that I need for myself. We all need to eat at the end of the day, and we get to be so creative. We get to be so inspired. There is so much that we can do. I love food. I love food. I love eating food. And I'm just glad that I have the privilege of being able to share my love for food with all of you. So everybody, continue sauteing, continue sauteing, continue sauteing. And again, we're not looking for a deep golden brown. We're not looking to char anything at the moment. I just wanted to get some flavor developed so that the stew is not completely boiled. Typically, you would sear the pork. You would get a lot of good color on the pork itself, and that would be some of the brown flavor. Everybody, in cooking, there is this rule of thumb, which is color equals flavor. The more that you caramelize, the more that you saute something, the more deeper, more complex flavors you're able to develop. So we could theoretically have just boiled all of this, but what's the fun in that? Where's the joy in that? I don't think there's any. Okay? Quick little saute, my friends. And I do mean quick. Again, we don't need super deep golden brown vegetables. We just want to develop some fond on the bottom. We want to be able to go ahead and just get some modicum of flavor developed. We add in the garlic. We fry the garlic. We add in the beans. We add in the liquid. We add in the hominy as well. Hominy. Ooh, that's clever, isn't it? Clever would be a strong word. It's definitely something. This stream with Magi playing Moki, which transgender cooking stream do I want to watch? Dorian the Cutest, that was a pretty funny message. That was pretty good. You want to watch this one. You want to actually have both of us open simultaneously, but you want to be talking with me and asking me cooking questions. That's what you want to be doing. How does that sound? Is that a good answer? Is that the answer that you were looking for? Whoop. Excuse me. I stirred this a little too aggressively. Make sure that that's not happening. Scrape off the vegetables from the sides of the pan. Everybody, you can see that the pan, all the way around it, there's these little stuck golden brown bits. That's called fond. Be it either from the ghee or just all of the solids that have somehow escaped my vegetables. Those little tiny brown bits, they will dissolve back into the liquid and they will provide so much flavor into the final pozole. Okay? So, this looks wonderful. Everybody, I'm going to say again, very light golden brown for today. Got my vegetables nicely sauteed. I'm going to go in now with all of my garlic. We don't add the garlic immediately because otherwise it would have ended up burning. So in it goes, nice medium-low heat at this stage. Medium-low heat and stir it in. Stir in the garlic. Let it get nice and aromatic. Let it get nice and delicious, everybody. And then we will begin flooding this pot with the rest of the ingredients. The beans, the hominy, bazoingas, and the chili paste. All of it will go in. All of it will stew. And yes, hominy is corn. Hominy is white, massive corn that has also just been nixtamalized. So it's not the same as yellow sweet corn that you would just buy as is. Everybody, I'm going to tell you right now with an amount of confidence that that is ready to go. And I'm adding in all of my beans. All of them go in. Because the goal for today was to use up all of these leftover beans that I had from the previous show. In goes my beans. We need to add in some more liquid. We got to fill up this pot, my friends. We got to fill it up, fill it up, fill it up. Fill it all the way. We want everything to be nice and covered. We don't want this to be too thick, of course. We don't want it to be too viscous. How much does hominy cost? It depends on what part of the world you are in, Dorian the cutest. For me, mine was about $2.50 a can. Not cheap at all. Depending on your proximity to, you know, just like Latin American supermarkets or to like a lot of Hispanic neighborhoods, at least in the United States, then it'll get cheaper. Okay, so in goes my water. And everybody, let's go ahead and finish this bad boy. Let's go ahead and finish it. I'm just gonna first throw this container into the dishwasher. So, let's first deglaze the pan. We have all of the solids that are stuck to the bottom. Okay? We have solids that are stuck to the bottom of the pot, so scrape it up and let it dissolve back into the liquid itself. Hominy, is that a JoJo reference? Yes, punish me, ugh, terrible. Okay, everybody, next, chicken bouillon. Chicken bouillon powder, there is no shame in it at all. I love chicken bouillon powder. You see this everywhere in Mexican cooking, and I do truly mean all over the place. So we're gonna go ahead and get a couple of nice big spoons inside. One, and this is also going to function as a salt, so don't worry about adding more salt until the very end of it. I just wanted a couple of nice big spoons. Could you use regular corn for pozole? Yes, so Shai Chica, you could, theoretically speaking, except it just wouldn't taste exactly like pozole. The white hominy itself, it has its own flavor. It is a very, very distinct product, so you could add corn to it, although I just wouldn't call it a pozole at that point. I would just call this a chili stew. Okay, next everybody, one of the most important ingredients is this chili paste. We're gonna need a bunch of it to go inside. A bunch of it. Maybe like half of the amount, and then we can always adjust and add more later on. But if we add too much of the chili paste, it could easily become bitter. Okay? So in the beginning at least, I'm gonna say that less is more. Let's do, oh, I don't know. Let's say this amount of chili paste going in. I'll mix it in. We'll let it cook for a little bit and then give it a taste. Okay? So mix it in, and this is what's going to give it that beautiful red color, my friends, of pozole verde, or pozole rojo, excuse me. Completely messed that up just now, didn't I? We're going to get this thing bubbling. We're going to get this thing going. We're going to get this thing nice and... Ooh. Everybody, already. Wow, that flavor. The chicken, it hasn't cooked yet. The chili paste hasn't cooked yet. And it is already so delicious. It is already so fantastic. And this just needs 30 minutes. There is no meat. There is no braising. So this only is going to need about 30 minutes of cooking. The last thing I'm going to do, everybody, I'm going to drain and rinse my hominy. The reason why I'm draining and rinsing it, okay, is because, whatchamacallit, it has some of the canned flavor. We don't really need any of that canning liquid inside of the final product. Okay, we just want that beautiful hominy. Okay, so I'll get the hominy. We'll get it all ready, and then we'll go ahead and get that inside, and it's gonna be phenomenal, my friends. It's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna be so delicious, and I'm really excited for it, and you should be too. So I'm gonna go ahead and open up my cans of hominy. Yeah, but granted, I will say, pozole is all about that hominy. It's all about that hominy, so it is okay for you to have slightly too much of it, okay? So I'm just gonna get my cans open, everybody, and then I'm gonna show you what the hominy itself actually looks like after I strain it out for a little bit. So really, ultimately, guys, only like 30 minutes of cook time in total for this bad boy. Not a lot. Not a lot at all. So I'm gonna show you. Because if you haven't seen hominy before, it's going to look quite alien to you. Okay? Because it's just like these really saturated, massive things of white corn. There's really nothing else quite like it. Everybody, I'm just rinsing it out to get rid of all of that canned liquid, because we have no use for that canning liquid. It's just not going to make it taste very good. Right, so rinse it out, rinse it out, rinse it out. Rinse it out heavily, please. And so I do apologize actually comparing the hominy to something like that. I don't think my word choice was very good. It is just not something that I grew up with. And so it's just like a very unique thing that you almost exclusively see within pozole itself, or if you grew up in like certain parts of the South, because hominy isn't just exclusively in Latin American cooking, or at least is my understanding. Well, okay. So everybody, I'm going to show you this thing. Yeah, it's just different because it really doesn't look like what you think corn looks like. Right? This is hominy. Here you go. Hominy. This is 2 cans of hominy that I had here. And so it's going to be a little bit crunchy at this state. It's going to get nice and soft as it cooks through them. Okay, these are my cans of hominy, everybody. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to get them into the pot. Really delicious. I want to actually explore what else I can do with hominy because I've never done anything with hominy other than pozole before. And so I really want to know what potential does this ingredient actually hold. The texture of it is phenomenal though. It is genuinely fantastic. So everybody, hominy, hamina, bazoinga, in it goes. Sorry, I'm going to stop saying that one of these days, but for now, it's just never getting old. In it all goes, and I'll get this thrown into the dishwasher as well. Look at this pot. Look at this pot of absolute stew, my friends. The beans, the hominy, the onions, the vegetables. Oh, it is heavy. I might have added a little bit too much liquid, but that's okay. Everybody, we got to bring this up to just a simmer and simmer it for about 30 minutes or so. We're not braising the meat. It doesn't need to take too much time or anything. I'm going to take a second to go ahead and clean on up for a second, and then I'll transfer that. We'll work on making the tortillas themselves, and we got to shred up the vegetables, do all the garnishes for today. I don't know if I'm going to go through the process of fully making the tostadas. Maybe we'll just do the tortillas. Everybody, how are you feeling? Do you think we should do the tostadas? I think we should do the tostadas, actually. I love tostadas. Especially with something like this. So I'm going to take a second, everybody. Please forgive me. I'm going to put away just a few things and get everything ready for the tortilla making step of today. Take this bad boy, move him in there. There she goes. Chef, how does hominy feel when you bite into it? It feels like a very big piece of corn. It's just crunchy when it's raw, but it's just a big old piece of corn. Let's see if I can lower that a little bit. Awesome. But guys, look at my pozole. Really simple, isn't it? Guys, chilies, corn, beans, some bouillon, garlic, onions, peppers. That's it. It is really astoundingly simple, and yet simple food makes for the best food at the end of the day. Ooh. I got to use up all of my leftovers, my leftover beans. I'm really happy about that. Okay. So that's what you're worried about? So, Shy Chica, how about this? Wait around until we actually get to the part where we eat it, and then I'll be able to give you a much better answer. But yeah, it's just like this lovely texture of soft corn. You know, it's just a really big thing of corn, I think is a very nice way to put it. That is what it is. And I got a few more things I can just put away in the meantime, everybody. Get it out of sight, out of mind. Make sure that it's not messing with me. Make sure that it is not in harm's way, because remember, this is a home cooking show. You have to clean as you go. Also, thank you so much, Estrella Wow, for the tier 1 sub. Thank you. Hope you're having a gorgeous day today. I think you're my first and only sub of today. Get on it, guys. Get it together. Get it all together. Okay. I just want to taste the broth again. I want to give that broth another little taste. I want to see how it's going. We made, also Count JP, welcome on in. It's lovely to have you. We made those beans ourselves. The beans had so much flavor when we did them. The pozole has a beautiful color to it. Also, thank you so much, Dolingo, for the sub. Thank you. Guys, the flavor inside of this pot, to die for. Genuinely to die for. Okay. We are going to go ahead and get the tortilla station all ready to go. We have to go ahead and get my tortilla press. We have to go get the thing heated up. It's going to be a little bit of effort. It's going to be a little bit of work. Is everybody ready? I want to hear a nice yes, chef, please, and thank you. All the while, this will be bubbling away. We'll make the tortillas. We'll bake the tostadas. We'll make the garnishes for them as well, and it will be excellent. Okie dokie. So, we're not going to need our cutting board for at least a little bit of time. So this I can gladly put away. Just for a little bit at least. Because we still need to chop up all of my garnishes, my cabbage, right? My onion for this as well. And everybody, I don't think I'm particularly going to need that much more of my chili paste for today. I think I can now just comfortably put it into a container and into the fridge. Maybe I'll do one more spoon of my chili paste right? This little guide just to feel better about myself, I suppose. But otherwise, I think I'll just save it for another dish, another day. But it's spicy, it's flavorful. This is why we don't use chili powder. This is the magical, magical ingredient that makes Mexican food so special. It's what makes pozole special. It's what makes enchiladas special. We don't mess with pre-ground garbage chili powder, my friends. This is what we use in lieu of it. Okay. So, I'm just gonna get that transferred into a little container. I'm gonna throw that bad boy into the fridge just so that it's out of sight, out of mind. I don't gotta worry about it. I don't have to look at it any more than I already do. Just put it out of its way. And then everybody, we might just do something with it the next time that we stream. Does anybody have any good ideas for what we should do with the chili sauce? Because otherwise, the only thing I have in mind is enchiladas. And I think that's a little bit boring because we did those once before. So if anybody has any ideas, this actually would be one of the few times that I would ask for some inspiration. We'll have it be the base for the next thing that we cook here. Yes, so I'm really underdeveloped. This is guajillos, pasillas, and ancho chilies with some garlic and some cumin inside of it. So I would love some inspiration, I think, on what to do next with it. What's next for the chili paste? But yeah, this stuff, guys, genuinely magical ingredient. I started making those a few months ago. Yeah. So, you know who made a very, very good video about this specific component? One of my only favorite YouTube content creators, Mr. Internet Shaquille. I was always doing like red chili pastes for like different kinds of dishes. Because I love Mexican food, I always did this for my chilies. But what he suggested is if you ever really want to make like Mexican food, having this in your freezer. And I thought it was a great video. It teaches you about the real magical component of Mexican cuisine, my friends. He gave me the idea, great. Yeah, Internet Shaquille is wonderful. One of the only food YouTubers that I would recommend alongside Chinese Cooking Demystified. And yes, Shai Chica, he did do this recently. He did a whole video on the subject, which you can go ahead and find on his channel. That is somebody that I will be very, very proud of to advocate for on this channel. Not a lot of people I'm very crazy about in the food content sphere, but he is somebody who has always done his stuff with integrity. It comes from a place of personal experience. He cooks dishes that he fell in love with his travels, and he cooks them in a home setting. I've taken a lot of inspiration from him in terms of how do you actually produce cooking content that's good? How do you do something that's really, really special? He doesn't follow an algorithm. He's not optimizing his posting schedule. He posts really good quality videos whenever he wants, and they do well. And that is my inspiration for why I do this channel. I don't want to algorithm YouTube videos. I'm not running 7-hour-long Twitch streams to get algorithmed and to get lucky so that it gets recommended to people's channels. I want this to succeed, and I want to succeed with integrity. Okay, I don't want to succeed by any means necessary. I want this channel to thrive. And so I looked at what he did. I looked at his model. There are some things that I think that I didn't necessarily do myself that he does, and the world of live content creation is very different. But it'll be great. It'll be wonderful. So everybody, this is my chili paste. If anybody has any ideas for this, please go ahead and let me know. If there is AI cooking, I will leave. So Count JP, I will say, there is very one practical function for, not to be like an AI bro about this, but I do occasionally use AI to tell me a little bit about what something is eaten with. Normally, what I do is I try to ask people in my life, if they come from a certain culture, hey, how do you eat this thing? What do you eat this thing with? I don't necessarily know everybody from every single culture, and I don't have like a supply of people to ask immediately. And so what I usually do is I would ask ChatGPT a question of like, hey, what are the traditional accompaniments for this? And then I go ahead and I fact check it. And so that really, really helps me. A lot of the information is just sometimes blatantly incorrect, especially with a lot of Asian dishes, South Asian, so many mistranslations. But every now and then, I do get practical insight into how people actually eat at home and how cultures eat at home as well. So if I don't directly know somebody in the moment and I have a stream to plan, then that is what I logistically do. And it does help me figure out some of the right places to look. So, while I would not particularly care for having an AI cooking stream, that is genuinely one very nice use case for it. What's the difference between Googling stuff and using AI for that? I'm actually going to explain to you why. I'm going to explain to you why. The world of Googling information is gone. It is unfortunately dead. The garbage that you see, SEO optimized articles, long scrolling so that they get their advertisement money, pumped out also by ChatGPT or other AI software to be able to write the articles themselves, you get so much slop. There is so much culinary ridden slop out there in the world. And so why don't I do it? Why don't I use it? It's because of that. It's because of that. Everybody, look at my beautiful pot of pozole. Look at that color. We got the hominy inside. We got the vegetables. We got the beans. Again, not the world's most traditional pozole, but above all else, she will be delicious. She will be beautiful. She will be gorgeous. I'm really, really excited about this. I love pozole. I love pozole. One of my best friends from Smash. He and I, there is a lovely Mexican restaurant that when I used to commentate Smash a little bit more professionally, there was this nice Mexican restaurant that was nearby a venue in Maryland. Anytime that I would go see him, we would go to this Mexican restaurant and I kept on getting the pozole over and over again. That was the place that I really fell in love with pozole. And I was like, this is so special. This is so magical. You typically see it garnished with iceberg lettuce and not cabbage. I like doing mine with cabbage instead. But it's really, really nice. Just an AI hater, oh, Archspire, me too. And all I'm saying is I'm not here to be like, oh, this should be a thing. It's a tool and I'm using it purely to just figure out how to talk to somebody, right? But ideally what I do is, especially for the biscuit stream, I didn't grow up Southern. I didn't actually know, hey, are people eating things with biscuits? Is it just at the table like bread rolls? And so what I did was I asked some of my Southern friends, in what context, in which way do you even eat biscuits to begin with? But everybody, enough of that. Look at the pozole. It is beginning to bubble up. It is beginning to boil. Let's go ahead and get my tortilla making station ready to go for today. So everybody, to make excellent tortillas, you do need a good tortilla press. You don't need my fancy powder-coated steel one. That you might not necessarily need. But what you do need is just a nice heavy one. Either a wooden one or a cast iron one. Do not, under no circumstances, should you ever, ever, ever get the really thin, flimsy aluminum tortilla presses. They're not enough weight and they won't evenly distribute your tortilla. Okay? So, 2 little pieces of plastic. These are basically plastic shopping bags that have been cut up a little bit. Okay, and this is going to be my tortilla pressing station. Excellent. Next, what do we need? We're going to go ahead and, of course, need my tortilla dough. My tortilla dough is right here. It's all ready to go. And everybody, the part of the tortillas that people forget about is the steaming station. It needs to go in a good little basket or a nice little bowl with a little cloth. And that's going to help steam the tortillas after they cook to make sure that the insides are nicely cooked through. Otherwise, they'll be a little bit too dense and they won't be flexible. Okay? So I'm going to just quickly rinse out this bowl because it has some dried out dough in it. And then I'll dry it off. Just some basic masa in there. Ooh, and everybody, I have some extra culinary insight on how to make really, really perfect corn tortillas that I picked up from watching a couple of videos. And it was a comparison of different heat sources. And so we'll talk about this in just a second, my friends. So everybody, look at my pot of pozole. It is bubbling, it is boiling, it is going. Gorgeous. Okay, we are going to need to now somehow transfer this massive cauldron over to a different stove because this is where I will be making the tortillas themselves in. It's a little overfilled. We'll evaporate some of the liquid for sure. It just needs to go somewhere else. So I'm going to somehow, hopefully, pick this up. I don't fully know how yet, probably with a handle and a towel. But yeah, everybody, we'll talk about the tortilla making in just a second. I'm going to take this bad boy. Come on, buddy. Up you go. Thank you. And put him onto this stove instead. Awesome. And get that cooking again. One day I will stop the camera from doing that. Not today, though. Nice low, medium low heat, everybody. And we're going to go ahead and get a nice, thick carbon steel pan. So, everybody, remember when I said even heat distribution and heating things up slowly is key? It is never more important than in tortillas. Tortillas, 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 above all else, they need super even heat distribution. So here's the key. Here's the real trick to this. Super low heat for a long amount of time. I'm going to say it again. low heat for a long 5 minutes, 10 minutes amount of time. And let me explain to you why. Carbon steel. Everybody, I need to hear a yes, chef, from everybody watching. We need to talk about heat conductivity. If your pan is not evenly heated, you are going to get inconsistent puffing. You just will. Now, people mess up carbon steel and they mess up cast iron all the time. Here's what people do. They say, oh, it's a hunk of metal. I could go ahead and blast the heat on this thing and slap it back down. These are thick, really thick pieces of metal, my friends. If you were to take this and blast this on a high heat, you will develop hot spots and cool spots. It is never more important than with cast iron and carbon steel. These are thick pieces of metal. They need a lot of time to get a remotely even cooking surface on them. If your heat source is uneven, you have hot spots and cool spots, your tortilla will not cook evenly, it will not puff up evenly. This needs to go for 5 to 10 minutes on a low heat. We don't do a high heat because then it'll get too hot. Okay, although you could just do a high heat and still do the same length of time as long as you lower the heat a little bit. But everybody, you need time. You need time. Tortillas are the sensitive woke libs of bread. Okay. All right, Couch AP, sure. Guess you could say that about any bread. All breads are kind of sensitive. But I want perfect puffing. I want them to be nice and puffy, my friends, as are all good things in life. Puffy. So, sorry, that was weird. And so everybody, you need time. You need a lot of time. You need a lot of time. You need a lot of love. But in the meantime, I think you could also look at my pozole. Let's see if we can get a good angle on it. Look at that pot. Look at that pot. It's going. That pot is simmering, my friends. It is bubbling away. It is looking lovely. It is looking gorgeous. We're going to have an incredible stew tonight. You know that? Today's stream, simple food is excellent food. I wanted to do something that was a basic stew. This is about as basic as it gets. Pozole is easy, my friends, and yet it makes up for how easy it is with that sheer amount of flavor. I don't think there is a more flavorful stew for the relative amount of effort, especially given that this is a vegetarian, well, minus the chicken bouillon, this is a mostly vegetarian version. Without the actual, ghee component and the chicken bouillon component, if you wanted to use like a vegetable broth or like a vegan substitute chicken broth, this would be an excellent way to go ahead and do so. But in my case, my friends, it's going to be spicy, it's going to be delicious, it's going to be wonderful. I'm just giving it a little stir in the meantime. But again, that pan needs to heat up for a lot of time. Time is your friend. If you don't heat this up for a long amount of time, you will have all of those hot spots and cool spots that I talked about. And that is not what we want. That is not what we want at all. Okay, everybody, tortilla station. Masa still wrapped in the plastic wrap so that it doesn't dry out. Next, bowl and a nice clean kitchen towel. Okay, this is a clean kitchen towel. Everybody, why do we have a nice clean kitchen towel? Here's the goal. Tortilla comes off. It needs to steam. If it does not steam, you will be left with essentially tortilla that's too dense and a little bit raw on the inside. Here's my lovely tortilla press, and we're going to just go ahead and get the balls done in advance. Get them done ahead of time, just so that this process is a little bit easier. We'll just divide it. We'll cut this up into nice little even segments. Okay, so here it is. Look at this bad boy. So simple. 2 ingredients. I used red masa. Everybody, the brand that it came from is, what is the brand? This is Masienda. That's right. Masienda is where I got my tortilla press from as well. It is an excellent brand. They make some really lovely equipment. Everybody, we're going to grab my bench scraper and we're going to go ahead and divide this dough into maybe 6 to 8 tortillas that are evenly sized. So ball it up. Get it to be a nice even ball. Okay? And just cut it roughly in half. Also, Count JP, thank you so much for the gifted sub. Thank you, thank you. Take it and just like so, right in half. Wonderful. And I'm going to go ahead and take each of these little guys and cut them in half one more time. Or actually, maybe into thirds, I think would have been ideal. Yeah, thirds. Basically, little golf balls. And I don't want massive tortillas today, my friends. The reason why I don't want massive tortillas is because these are going to become tostadas. And for them to become beautiful tostadas, I don't want a massive, massive, massive tostada. I want them to be, you know, I just want them to be like nice and crunchy, nice and small, something that you can easily eat with the pozole. Okay? So everybody, I have failed with a lot of my recent tortilla making attempts. As you guys may have known, they were not puffing up correctly at all. Everybody, is today the day? I don't know who was here last time I made them. I know Trash Can Cat Mom definitely was. Trash Can Cat Mom is always here, always with us. Everybody, is today going to be the day? That's what I want to know. Okay, so all I'm really looking to do is just make sure that these are mostly even in size, but if they're not, then, you know, the world doesn't actually end, as you might think it does. That one is still noticeably the biggest. These are all quite similar in size now, and I'll donate some from here. Some of them really did puff. Most of them did not, though. Okay. Mostly even balls. Please and thank you. And then we'll keep them nicely wrapped up in plastic. Doing this like this just saves us a little bit of time in our actual final workflow. Okay, there you go. And everybody, really quickly, before this dries up, all that we're going to go ahead and do is just make sure that we've covered all of the airways with the plastic. Because if it dries out, then you have to add in more water, mix it in, and it becomes a whole thing. And I don't want the whole thing to deal with, okay? My pozole is bubbling. My pan is getting nice and hot for the tortilla making, everybody. Oh, I'm excited. I'm very excited for this. I'm going to go back in. I'm going to stir my pozole. Just make sure, guys, remember, we're cooking with beans. Guess what? Beans are viscous. Beans, especially that bean cooking liquid, you can see it sticking to the edges of the pot. Scrape it back in and get it inside. Go to the bottom of the pot and scrape up the pot. You don't want the bean liquid. Guys, it carries a lot of proteins. It coagulates. And then once it's there and it's stuck on the bottom, it can easily burn, even if it is a big, thick stew. So stirring this and going back in there and making sure that's not happening is so, so important. I cannot overstate it. I cannot overstate its importance. Okay? So going in there, really thoroughly stirring it around. Beautiful. Everybody, let's go ahead and begin making the tortillas. So, tortilla press. The key to an evenly pressed tortilla is to do it gently and slowly. If you press too quickly, you get an uneven press, I've actually found. So, tortilla. I'm dropping the heat on my pan to a nice medium low. It's been slowly heating up, and I'm also gonna rotate it. I'm gonna rotate it just so that as much of that surface is as even as possible. Okay? Everybody, this is gonna be it. Beautiful carbon steel pan. Tortilla. Ready? On. It goes right in the center of the plastic. Slightly press it down. Take it, gently, gently, gently press it, my friends. Gently press it, gently, gently, gently. Give it a nice 180-degree turn. Am I excited for the new Mario and Luigi? I never played Mario Luigi. Also, art style, just not for me either. Gently, 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 gently. Not too thin, my friends. If it's too thin, it'll completely fall apart in the pan itself. That is your tortilla. So, next, here's what needs to happen. Timer on your phone. Unless you, for some reason, have the instincts of a Mexican grandma that's been doing this for 30 years, which I am not. I'm not either of those things. We need a timer. We need a timer that's ready to go for us. And what we need to do is roughly 15 seconds per side. Flip it, 20 seconds per side. 20 seconds, flip it, 20 seconds, flip it. Back on that first side, and then we will know if it puffs or not. So everybody, we're gonna take it, we're gonna unpeel it right onto our fingertips, just like so. Next, to the stove we go. Timer on, and on it goes at 3 seconds. 15 seconds from then, so let's say at 18. Whenever it reads 18, that's when we'll go in there and we'll give it a nice little flip, my friends. And I'm gonna use a fish spatula just because I, once again, not a Mexican grandma. I can't flip this with my hands. Get it in there, back on 22. We flip it once my timer says 37. I think my pan might have been a little bit too hot. I can see there's too much charring around the edges, but we'll see how it puffs. Everybody, moment of truth. Do we get that puff? Do we get that puff? Do we get that puff? Please talk to me. Please puff. I think I might have cooked it a little too fast. I think my heat might have been a little bit too high for this guy. I don't think it's gonna puff today. This one cooked a little too fast. We dried it out slightly. Oh, the edges, we got a slight puff on them. But otherwise, everybody, I don't think this one's gonna be a puffer. This one's not a puffer fish. Okay, that's okay. That's all right. It happens to the best of us. I have a good understanding of why this happened. I can already feel how hard and crunchy it is on that side, which is okay also because we're gonna be making these into tostadas. Right? So it's okay for this to not be like the world's best quality. Whoa, hold on a second. Hold on. Did I just not cook it long enough? Was my heat too high and I didn't cook it long enough? I'm beginning to see it puff actually. Okay, everybody, I can tell you right now, heat was definitely too high, but lower heat for a longer amount of time, and I think that'll be perfect. So into the bowl this goes with my towel over it. But again, that puff, if you can nail the puff, it is essential for the texture of the tortilla. Okay? That's how you get it to be nice and digestible, nice and flexible. That's how you steam it through properly. So, everybody, next one. We've dropped the heat slightly. We've dropped the heat. Let's try this again. Although I'm confident. I know I can do this one. I know we can do it, everybody. I know we can do it. We're going to get that puff if it's the last thing I do. I think on the lower heat, we're going to try 15 seconds on each side and then see how we feel about it. Here we go. And give it a nice little 180-degree turn. And one more little press. Beautiful. Everybody, this might be the one. It also might not be. We'll find out. Tortilla onto my lovely little dainty hands. It goes. Set my timer. And on she goes at 2 seconds. 15 seconds on this first side, then we flip it. Does it slide around? Does it move around? It's actually sticking a little bit more than usual today. And I don't really know why that's the case. Normally, if you do these things really, really well, they don't. Oh no, I pierced it slightly. Ah, tragic. Okay. Yeah, normally it should be gliding over it, and it wasn't. And I'm not entirely sure why that was or was not the case. All right, everybody, do we get a puff? Do we even get a little puff? Oh no. My tortilla making, it's not what it used to be. It's really not what it used to be. Oh no. Oh, everybody, that is not a puff. There is no puff. Maybe my dough is too dry today. I think I might have risked making my dough a little bit too dry. Do I want to build up those heat-resistant hands that cooks have? Oh yeah, Count JP, these aren't too bad. Like I can get away with like touching a hot pan on occasion. I'm a little upset about my tortillas at the moment. They're not puffing. Today is not a good puff day for them. When I used to do tortillas all the time, I think I built up like a really good feel, but now, I don't know what's happened to me. I'm a changed man, whatever I am. Oh, terrible tragedy has fallen before us, everybody. All right, get him out of here. All right, so what am I thinking is still happening here? I have no idea. I have no idea. Maybe I'm not pressing them thin enough. I think that could very well be a possibility at the moment. Let's give it a try. 4 more tortillas, everybody. 4 more chances. So if it's not puffing, I think I might have overcooked it on that side. I think that's what could very well be happening. So really, really try for those 15 seconds. Get them on there, and we're going to try pressing them a little thinner and really make sure we don't overcook it. Nice low heat, everybody. Rotate them, rotate them, rotate them, rotate them. I think my dough might be a little too dry today as well. That is something that's come to mind. This one's a lot thinner than the other ones. Set my timer, and on she goes. Set down at 2 seconds, meaning we flip it at 17. Everybody, I need some faith. I need some faith. I need to know that this one's gonna come out okay. I need her to come out okay. Not like her other ones, but, you know. This one, this is gonna be the one, everybody. No! It folded over on itself. Can I salvage it? The answer is somewhat. Tragic. Tragedy has fallen before us. This is why you would flip it with your hands and not with like an external tool, because external tools just will not do as good of a job as your hands will, straight up. It just won't. Ah, so sad. This could have been the one too. But it's just, there is no puffing today. There is just none. I'm not seeing it come out at all. But pancakes, they have like a leavening agent inside of it. Everybody, if you do these correctly, they should be able to flip with no leavening. They should be able to puff with no leavening, excuse me. It is puffing right there. I'm seeing the lightest and the lightest and the littlest of little puffs. You know what I'm guessing? I don't know if I'm cooking the second side long enough. I think I'm flipping the second side a little too soon. Because now, once I've actually built up enough pressure on that second side, that does seem to at least slightly pop up a little bit. But I don't know. Yeah, we definitely got some puffage. Some of it. And I also broke the hell out of this one. But everybody, I miss my tortillas of yore. I miss it when they would have really, really inflated it. I'm Mexican and it's okay for the tortilla to come out like that. If you wanted to inflate, you would have flattened it by hand. What do you mean, like without using a tortilla press? I think what's happening here is just my temperatures and my moisture ratios. Everything is off at the moment. My instinct is telling me I should cook the second side a little longer than my first. That is what I am thinking about in the moment. Google Mexican inflation for more. Oh no, Couch AP. Oh no. Terrible. Awful. Bad. Bad, 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 bad. Well, that's pretty good. Okay. Let's try this one. Let's give it a shot. Let's give it a shot, everybody. We have 2 more tortillas after this one that we can give it an attempt on. I think my dough's too dry. I think that's what's happening here. 20 seconds. Flip it at 25. Give it another flip. My dough's definitely too dry. That's got to be what's happening here. Where's my fish spatula? There she is. Hello, my friend. Okay. And then grab that little guy and flip it over. Using my hands this time. Flip it at 45 once again. Everybody, do we have faith? Is this going to be it? Is this going to be the one? We'll see. We'll just have to find out. 43, 44, 45. Give it a second. A couple seconds extra on that second side. Flip it over. It looks good. This is the one that did not fall apart at all. We'll take it. We'll just press on some of these sides gently just to get them in full contact with the heat. And there is just no puffing to be found. Everybody might be over. It might actually just be over for today. The answer is actually somewhat. I'm seeing some puffing around the edges, but none of it towards the center. What that's leading me to believe is I'm not cooking this long enough still. I initially thought I dried it out, but I actually don't think that that's the case. These are cooking right now very gently. Oh, wait a second. Hold on. Everybody, hold on a second. Hold on. Hold on. Yeah, I don't think I've been cooking them long enough. Look at that. Look at that. Hold on. That was a real puff. That was a real puff. That was a real proper puff for a second there before it deflated. The second side is not supposed to puff like that. Hold on. I think we're just not cooking it long enough. I think we're not cooking it long enough. I think that's what's happening here. We're going to try 20 seconds per side. It's not a different no punish mage. It's just a little technical. I think I'm not... It's interesting. Wow, I'm surprised that I'm not cooking it long enough. Okay, we got 2 more that we can do. We got 2 more that we can give a nice fair shot to, my friends. Come on, let's give him a shot. Let's give him a shot. Let's give him a shot. Let's go. Press it down. 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 Okay. Next one. Flip it around and press it down. We're not making a big batch of tortillas today, so we don't have that many to actually play around with. But I'll take this bad boy. We'll go back to the stove. Okay. I'll grab that onto my fingertips. Set the timer. Let's do 17 seconds on each side. Make sure nice flat contact all the way around. We put it down at 3. We pick it up at 20, flip it, let it cook for another 17 seconds. Everybody, I'm determined to get this right. I'm determined to do it. 19, 20. Gently pick it up and flip it with our hands. Make sure everything is nicely in contact. Okay, this is it. This is the moment where men and tortillas get made. Come on, little guy. Up we go. I want you to puff, and I want you to puff now. So, we flip them over. This is where it needs to puff. This is where it needs to happen. This is where I want to see some inflation, please. She's not doing it. I see those edges coming up a little bit, but there's bits all the way around the center that are just not. I'm seeing some minor bubblage. I still got a feeling I'm not cooking this long enough. That's the instinct that I got in my mind at the moment. That second side especially. I have a feeling that the second side is a little too wet, that it's not able to trap the moisture from when we flip it. That's what I think is still going on a little bit. Okay, it happens to the best of us, I suppose. Oh, look at that puff. I am right about the second side. I'm right about it. I was right about it the whole time. Look at that puff. Everybody, look at that puff. Look at it go. That's what I want. Oh, I wanted her so bad. Oh my gosh. Yes. Oh, I'm so happy about this. Yes. That's a good proper puff, my friends. That is a real tortilla. Oh, I'm so happy. Okay. It is purely my second side not cooking long enough. That is what's happening today. Oh. I did not want another stream with no good puffage. It's all about the second side. That's what I'm really getting at. That first side cooks plenty. It loses a little bit of heat. And then by the time that we flip it over, yeah. Oh yeah, I got it. We're all good now. Everybody, I'm gonna prep the last one and we will do it. And this one, hopefully, will be good. Hopefully. Press it down, press it nice and flat, my friends. Let's get it on there. Let's get it onto the heat. This is going to be the one. This one is going to be it. I promise you that. 17 seconds first side. Second side, maybe 25. Set it down. Set the timer. Let it go. Let it do its thing right now. So, not damaging it, not folding it in half, being very gentle with it, trying to use our hands and not the fish spatula as much as possible. All of those are good fundamentals. But right now, take this bad boy. Gently flip that over. I slightly twirl that. That's okay. This one, we're going to keep for 20 whole seconds on this second side. Oh, this one's going to be good. This is going to be the one, everybody. This is going to be it. This is going to be the one. 20 whole seconds. Well, actually, I don't know because that edge didn't come out so good. Maybe a little bit longer, just in case. Okay. Oh my. Somebody's bubbling up a little bit. Okay, come on. You can do it. I know you can. I saw the bubbles beginning to start. I saw it beginning to get there, but it didn't hold the pressure. It's not completely even. It's only around it. But that's something. That's better than before. I still have not gotten the hang of a super even puff yet, but we will one day. Maybe not today, but we will. Eventually. Okay. The tortillas are a little bit nervous. That's right. Yep, not gonna puff much more than that, I think, but I think that's all right. Okay, I think I just confirmed what I thought was happening the whole time. I think my second side was a little bit too wet. Ooh, hold on. That's still puffing. That's still going. Wonderful. Okay, so yeah, I think my second side, just initially, it wasn't dry enough for it to build pressure. That, I'll do with that. That's all right. Everybody, all of my tortillas are done for today. I'm okay with that. I'm happy with that. Everybody, let's go get this beautiful pot of pozole back onto the stove, back onto the heat. Everybody, my carbon steel pan has done its job for today. That is a hot pan though, nonetheless. So I've got to go ahead and move this bad boy ever so slightly. Come on, can I pick this up with my left hand? I don't think I can. Okay, up we go. Everybody, my lovely pot of pozole. And last thing we got to do, the tostadas and the garnishes. There she is. Look at my pozole. We've made the tortillas. The pozole is still going. It's simmering. Scrape those sides up. Scrape it up and mix it in, my friends. And mix it all in. Now, let's have a taste of the pozole. Let's see how the pozole has been doing. Let's see the viscosity. Let's see the flavor. Let's see if we want more of the chilies. Let's see how the corn is doing. Let's give this bad boy a little taste, huh? It's simple food. A pozole is so simple, it is so delicious, and yet it can be so magical as well. So, I'll just grab a little ladleful, just to be able to get a nice proper sample of my pozole today, and we'll have a little taste. Everybody, I'm really happy about the tortillas. I'm glad that they actually ended up coming out. They turned out all right. I'm glad that those kids turned out okay. Okay, look at that pot. Look at it go. Gorgeous. Everybody who's ready to taste the pozole, I want to hear a nice me chef, please and thank you. But first, I'm also going to preheat the oven to about 425 or so. And that'll be for, of course, the tostadas. Just so we have some nice fresh tostadas. So 425, I think, but I'll just Google the temperature. I forgot which temperature I liked using before. We want to get those tostadas nice and crispy. Okay, so let's find out. Still not ready? That's okay. Shy Chica, I just want to see how it's doing so far. Here's my pozole. We're going to taste some of the hominy. Ooh. You know, the texture and the give of it, it's so similar almost to yuca. And it's like starchiness. Ooh, guys, that is good. Oh, my friends. This pozole, that's serious business. Yuca, it's like this big old root vegetable. It's not dissimilar from a potato. But I gotta say, guys, those chunks of hominy, they're starchy and wonderful. So, I tasted it. I want more chili, and I want more salt. Those are the two things that this is missing. So let's go ahead and add those in, everybody. I wanted to adjust for seasoning, and thus that is exactly what we are doing. I'm not getting enough of that chili flavor to my taste. So, let's go get the rest of this stew back into the pot. I don't want to prematurely have my dinner. Lovely. And let's go in with a bunch more of that delicious chili paste, my friends. Just get it in there, let it go do its thing. And all of the vegetables are basically cooked at this point. We're just doing this just for some more flavor. Okay? We could even probably modify this and turn this into like a full salsa for the taco. So it's really good. It's really delicious. And we're gonna need some more salt. We're gonna get some salt in there, everybody. Let's go get this pot nice and seasoned. It's a big old pot of stew, okay? So we wanna make sure that this has enough salt for everybody involved. Big thing of salt, and just because we already have some out, let's get some more chicken bouillon, because you can never have too much chicken bouillon powder. Get it in there and mix it up, my friends. Mix up that pozole. Mix it up, mix it up, mix it up. And we'll just let it keep on stewing. We'll let it keep on going. Beautiful. Do I have anything in the oven? I do not. Wonderful. Everybody, the tortillas are made. The pozole is going still. We got to do the garnishes, and then we'll set up the tortillas for baking, and then we'll be all set. So, really quickly, I just have to check my time and my temperature on my tostadas. I forgot which temperature I like doing them on. I think I did like, I don't know, 400 degrees or so. Oh, it's like a whole article. Yeah, I think we'll do like 10 minutes or so. Taste for the seasoning again. Ooh, lovely. Still's probably gonna need more salt though. It's a big old pot of stew, my friends. It needs the seasoning to be able to properly accommodate it. So a bunch more salt goes inside. There she is. And we just got to cook the rest of that chili paste that we added in. Okay, wonderful. Everybody, what do we have left to do? We just got to make the tostadas, and we have to go make the garnishes for the pozole today. So let's go ahead and get my tray ready and all set. So I'm going to be using this big old sheet tray, everybody. Oh, actually, I don't know if I want to turn all of my tortillas. Let's do all of my tortillas into tostadas. They weren't the best tortillas. They didn't puff up the best, so they'll be getting the tostada treatment. Let's go get a nice wire rack, everybody. The wire rack is going to help make sure that the air circulates very evenly around it as it all bakes. Next, let's lay out each of my lovely little tortillas. These are my tostadas. They will be my tostadas, rather. And it fits all of them just perfectly. Look at that, nice little sheet tray, all ready to go, my friends. This bowl is basically clean. I just gotta go ahead and wipe it off. And all that we're going to do is we're just gonna brush it with a little bit of oil. That little bit of oil is going to really, really ensure that they come out nice and crispy. And my thinking at the moment is 6 minutes with the oil on one side, flip it over 6 minutes with the other side. If only I was so quick at decision making as you, chef. Well, in a kitchen, Serena, that can all be learned. I'll promise you that much. Okay. So all that I'm going to do, everybody, we're going to go get a little container, a little dish. We're going to fill it up with some oil, and we're going to brush each one of them. But the first thing that we need to do for this is to poke them. We got to give them a good old poke. Because everybody, if you don't poke them before you bake them, they're going to end up puffing into these massive shells. And so while that's aesthetically pleasing, that's not really what I'm looking for. So give them a nice gentle pokeage all the way around. Gentle, gentle. You don't have to completely tear it up and destroy it. This just helps to keep them nice and flat. And that is what I want through my tostada, okay? I don't want them to be these massive puffy shells. So normally these would just be already ready to go for like a taco. Oh, Shy Chica, did I call you Serena? My fault. I apologize. Okay. Everything has been nicely poked. Wonderful. That's all set. And the last thing that we're going to need, everybody, is a little container with a little bit of oil and a brush. So where is my ceramic? There she is. Excellent. And any neutral cooking oil will do here. The oil is, again, not for flavor. The oil is purely to really, really help out the tortillas to brown up nice and evenly. So traditionally, tostadas would be made by frying them. Now, there is no health reason why I'm not frying them. The reason why I'm not frying them is because there's so much more effort and there's so much more cleanup. The frying them will give you a better texture. It just will. There is no way around this. Frying them will give you tostadas a better texture. However, I am personally okay with compromising texture for the sake of convenience. We're cooking at home. This isn't a restaurant. I don't have access to a lot of oil to be able to fry with. It's a lot of mess. It's a lot of cleanup. It's quite frankly not for me. So instead of all of that, We'll just brush some oil on it and then we'll bake it as it is. And then that will be perfect. But you need enough oil to be able to properly lubricate everything. The oil is going to really help to make sure that the heat conducts nice and evenly, my friends. Okay, so get that oil and get it on there. Slather it on, slather it on, slather it on. Just like so. Excellent. Take that oil, slather it on. Not too much. The tostadas are going to basically absorb all of that oil, so you don't want it to come out too greasy. So a little bit of oil on each, just enough for it to be able to properly coat it as it bakes up. Because if you were just to cook these without any fat whatsoever, you would get uneven browning. And in addition to that, you would probably just end up with a lot of like hard spots. Okay, by cooking it with fat, it really helps to get it nice and crunchy and not just hard. Right, the difference between like a Texas toast versus a regular toast. Right, so all of that oil has been sloshed and slopped on there. I'm going to go ahead and just set this aside for a little bit because we're not going to need this for a good second. What we do is we'll flip them over after they bake for 6 minutes and then do another round of oil in there. Okay. Everybody, let's go ahead and let's just mix it up. Let's mix up this pot. Again, I don't think it needs to cook that much longer. If anything, I would say that this is just about done for my purposes today. The hominy is cooked, the veggies are cooked, the beans are cooked, the chili paste is cooked down. Everybody, let's give this one last taste for the seasoning. Scrape the sides, scrape the pot, get everything back in there, get everything back in and knowing each other. Oh, that's a little too food content-y of me to say, I think. They look like pork slices. They do count, JP. The tortillas, they looked almost like a pork roll. That is really delicious. Salt is still an issue for me right now. I have this container of kosher salt left. I'm going to just get it all inside. It needs the soup seasoned. I need the stew seasoned. I need it seasoned. I don't want the bland stew. Chat, do we want a bland stew? I want to hear a nice no, chef, please and thank you. Everybody, I'm going to go get my tortillas into the oven. 12 minutes in total. 6 minutes on the first side. Flip them with more oil and another 6 minutes. Kitchen timer, 6 minutes. And then we'll get my garnishes ready and we will be all done and we'll be all set for today. Let's taste the seasoning. Let's taste the salt. Nice. That's just the right amount of seasoning now. Lovely. Is salt really seasoning? Of course it is. Salt is the context. Salt is the base for everything else. It's so important that food is properly salted. Everybody, let's slice up the garnishes and then we are out of here for today. We'll plate up this beautiful, beautiful pozole. We'll get it all into the bowl. I'll eat it. I'll munch down on it. And it will be gorgeous. And it'll be perfect. So again, pozole de frijol, not the most traditional. It's what's giving it that bit of a brown color instead of just a deep red color. But at the end of the day, it'll still be phenomenal. Okay? Typically, you would do it with pork. And it's so minimalistic. It's so simple. This is the kind of a stew that is all about the garnishes, which we're going to go ahead and get to now. Everybody, the first of these garnishes. Simple, but simple is best. Some lime wedges. Because you can't have pozole without a little bit of lime. So all I'm going to do is just start assembling my little garnish plate. Okay? Oh, this has some Masa on it. I'll get rid of that ASAP. Okay, lime. What do we need? We just need some nice little wedges of lime. 1, 2. Not even going to bother slicing up that other one. That's ready to go. This guy, I'll throw him into the fridge. Next garnish that we're going to need, everybody, is some lovely fresh cilantro. I love cilantro on my pozole. Typically, you see cilantro only on like a pozole verde. But I just want some cilantro, and I already have some. So let's go get a little thing of cilantro. We don't need too much, everybody. It's just purely for garnishing. And for finishing my final soup. Get all those little guys out. And as always, I don't like the texture of the stems, so we'll be plucking them off. We'll be plucking them off. We'll be getting them out of here, everybody. So let's go through each of our lovely things of cilantro and pluck it off. Pluck it off, pluck it off, pluck it off, and get it done. Today's stream is a simple one. Today's stream is a chill one. Nothing crazy. Cilantro is loved in many Mexican dishes. That's right, Chai Chica. You buy yourself a chocolate spatula. What do you mean a chocolate spatula, Surabili? I'm not sure what that means. Hi, Clementine. Welcome on in. It's lovely to have you. The pozole is almost done. The tostadas are in the oven at the moment. We're just getting my lovely garnishes ready for today. Okay. Okay, okay. Excellent. I'll go ahead and discard the stems now. And everybody, all I'm going to do, we're going to lightly slice it. Not crush it, not chop it, not destroy it. But we'll just take a little thing of cilantro and just really, really gently slice it all up for my pozole today. Just bundle it up and slice it. Really, really nice little pieces, my friends. Bundle it up, slice it, slice it. Don't chop it, don't crush it. Just slice it, because I don't want massive leaves of cilantro in my final product. I want something a little bit more refined than that. Come back through, get the last of those little leaves. Excellent. And I'll pile that onto my plate. And last two garnishes, my friends. Traditionally, again, avocado and radishes, awesome to have. I just have cabbage and red onions. And so that's exactly what we will be using for today. I want a nice heaping pile of both. So let's go ahead. We're gonna need just a quarter of this onion or so. I'm just gonna go take it directly off of this onion. Quarter of an onion, just like that. And we are going to finely mince it up, my friends. And I do mean finely. I don't want any massive chunks of onion inside, okay? Just little teeny tiny little guys of onion. So grab your onion, peel him off, get that skin off of him. This is a little quarter of an onion. And everybody, we're doing the onion fan method. Fan it out, incisions. We keep it attached at the root. We keep it attached. Make a bunch of incisions. Then do the same exact thing. Hi, Tarina, welcome on back. Well, the tostadas are almost done. They have a few more minutes on them. But right now, all I'm doing is just going through a nice small dice of my red onions, because I don't want massive chunks of red onions inside of my pozole. Go through it. These are all of our lovely garnishes. These are all of our beautiful little accoutrements for my pozole today. And now it'll be time for us to flip the tostadas and put them back on into the oven, my friends. So please forgive me for a moment. We got to go back to the stove. We're going to move this pot probably. Get this guy out of here because it's a big old heavy pot taking up a lot of space for us at the moment. And I'm going to go ahead and just get the tostadas out of the oven. We'll flip them and then put them back on in for another 5 to 6 minutes. So, not super crispy on this side yet, but it'll get there in the rest of the cooking process, don't you worry. So take these bad boys, flip them over one by one. They're beginning to pick up some firmness. And the wire rack, again, really helps to just circulate the air as these guys cook. Really important that you poke enough holes in them, guys, because that stops it from just puffing up so much that it becomes uneven. And a little bit more oil. In it goes, everybody, another 6 to 5 minutes. A little bit of oil, just a little bit of oil. Just tap it around. Brush it. Tap it. Get that oil on there. Get that oil on there. And there you go. Everybody, another 5 to 6 more minutes on my tostadas. They can go back on in, then we'll pull them out and we'll be ready to eat. So in she goes. 5 to 6 minutes more until crispy to your liking. Well, hold on. I put them in a little too aggressively. I got them all to spread out a little bit. There you go. Thank you. Okay. Kitchen timer. Everybody, let's go ahead and shred that cabbage and we're done. back to this. Let's get these onions onto my little garnish plate, onto my little garnish bowl. Grab these bad boys, slap them on there. Okay, everybody, last but not least, let's go ahead and do a nice mountain of cabbage. This is the final step for today, and then we'll be all done, and we'll be all set, and we'll be all ready to go. Cabbage. Big old head of nice fresh cabbage. Nice green cabbage. You can use whatever kind of cabbage that you would like. Traditionally, you'd also see iceberg lettuce be used. I don't really like iceberg lettuce. I really like my cabbage, though. So, take it. We're going to slice. We'll just slice this bad boy in half. I think that'll be easiest for all of us involved. Take it. Cut it in half, my friends. Any way that you can. Just get it cut in half. And then we'll just tackle a really, really small piece of it because we certainly don't need that much cabbage. Get this little guy of cabbage. The rest of this, my friends, I can just go ahead and keep on in my fridge. I'm not going to need this for a little while. And we want to thinly, thinly shred it, everybody. Thinly, thinly, thinly. This is meant to be a garnish. You're not meant to bite into a massive chunk of raw cabbage. Sharp knife. Really nice sharp knife. I need to hear another yes, chef. Please and thank you. Take it and slice it. Slice it. And I mean, when I say thin, I mean as thin as you can physically handle it. Slice it, slice it, slice it, slice it. Thinner than for the coleslaw. If you have a mandolin, that would be ideal. There you go. Have it catch on. Slice it, don't chop it. If you go with a purely vertical motion, your knife is going to slip out and you're not going to get beautiful shreds of cabbage. Look at that. Look at those shreds. Look how nice and thin they are. That's what I'm talking about. That's perfect. I'm only going to shred enough. Well, I'll shred up this whole thing because I'm already at it. Pay attention to the coil. When we get to the coil, we'll rotate it, okay? There we go. That's a nice little mound of cabbage. Everybody, we're going to flip it over just like so and just shred it up. Shred it up, 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 shred it up. Nice and thin and thin and thin and thin all the way through. Nice and thin and thin and thin and thin. Paper thin, as physically thin as you can go. And then we'll plate the pozole. We'll have a nice little warm tostada with it. And then we will call it, my friends. Okay, the rest of this is just the core, a little bit too crunchy for my purposes today. I'll go get all of my cabbage. I'm going to use my hands. A bench scraper is a little redundant for the first bit of it. What type of knife blend do I recommend? Well, that's a really complex question. There's a lot of really good knife blends out there. I love this Willing Kramer chef's knife. I love Corn's knives. I love Mac knives. Mac knives are really, really good. Those would usually be my go-to. Everybody, let's go ahead and get this bad boy into the dishwasher. Not the knife. Jesus, no. Just all the other stuff. And this is all of my garnishes for today's pozole. Some lime, some cilantro, some onion, and some cabbage. The cabbage for the crispiness, the onion for the pungency, the cilantro for the freshness, the lime juice for that acidity to just counter everything else going on, to just give us a little bit of nice contrast. I love that contrast. I love that acidity, my friends, and you will too. Okay? I can probably get rid of these two devices as well, cleaning up as I am going, because remember, this is a home cooking show at the end of the day. And when we cook at home, we have to clean at home. And that is not an option. Okay, look at that. Beautiful. Everybody, we're going to get this bowl ready. We're going to get this plate ready. We are going to go get a nice big bowl for my pozole today. And when I say a big bowl, I do truly mean a nice big bowl. So, my tostadas, let's not forget about them. They're about to come out of the oven. Oh, it is going to be incredibly colorful. Very big on the reds today, aren't we? Very dark color, isn't it? I refuse to make pozole verde because I only make things that are red and black. Exclusively. Okay. Although that would just be a good bit. That would be like a good cooking bit, you know? Everybody, off the oven goes. That is now cooked. My tostadas are nice and toasted and nice and crispy at the moment. Right? Exactly how I wanted them. Not soggy at all, not hard, just nice, crisp tostadas. I could probably just put this in there to cool back down in the meantime. These are my tostadas. All right, everybody. These bad boys, I'm gonna give a second to cool. We'll pick out the nicest ones for my meal today. And let's go get my lovely pot of pozole. Come on, buddy, relax. Chill out. Thank you. Let's go get my lovely, large pot of pozole. Look at her. Look at her, my friends. Look how magnificent she is. Howdy, y'all two doing? Hi, Possum. Unfortunately, we are at the end of the show for today. But in the meantime, look at my pozole, my friends. Look at the hominy. Look at the beans. Beautiful. Let's go get a couple of nice, big ladlefuls. Wait for it to drip out. Slightly smaller ladle. Drip, drip, drip. And in it goes. Everybody, little tip. Fill up your ladle to about 80%. That way, when it starts dripping, it has a rhythm to it, and you don't splash it on the side of your bowl. Seems a little abstract, but fill it like this, and not like this. Like this, and it's all spilling over. This way, you get to wait for it to finish dripping out. That's my pozole. That's my dinner for today. So I'm making a nice big bowl of it for myself. Come take a look. Come take a look. Look at this pozole, my friends. And now, this is where the magic is. This is where all the garnishes happen. First, we have to get a nice big mound of cabbage. Right there. A nice big mound of red onion. In it goes as well. Next, some of my cilantro. Right there. Oof. Look at that pozole, my friends. Look at that pozole. And then the lime juice right on top of all of it. And I'll just put it in just so that it can soak up and get into the stew. That is my gorgeous pozole. I'm going to take a little picture of it. There she is, my friends. So, everybody, last but not least, we have a nice, freshly baked, crispy tostada to go alongside all of it, as well as a spoon. This is my pozole, made from leftovers, my pozole rojo de frijol. Everybody, let's talk about what we have in it. We sauteed some bell pepper and onion. Not traditional, but that's okay. We made a chili paste out of guajillo, pasilla, and ancho chilies, alongside some garlic and freshly toasted cumin. We added beans, we added the vegetables, we added the chili paste, some chicken bouillon, water, and we let the whole thing just cook. We let it cook. Cabbage, garnish, cilantro garnish, lime juice, red onion, and a freshly homemade tortilla. We made these tortillas ourselves. We took them into some beautiful tostadas. Everybody, cheers. Grab some of this. Ancho, pasilla, and guajillo chilies. Look at that. And some hominy. Don't forget about the hominy, my friends. Wow. Oh. Flavorful. Just a little bit spicy from the serranos from before, but guys, that is serious business. Having some of the pozole with the tostada. Oh, my friends. Serious business. Okay. Okay, everybody, that's gonna do it for today. I gotta run for tonight. Thank you all for being here. I have some plans in the evening, so I gotta get my ass out of here. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for watching the show. Next stream is gonna be this Sunday, 5 p.m. EDT. Everybody, I'm gonna make a formal announcement after this Monday. However, after the Sunday stream and the Wednesday stream, I need your full attention. I need everybody to still be here. We're going on a hiatus. I'm gonna be gone for CEO Fighting Him event. And then afterwards, I'm gonna be moving to a new place. I have a bigger kitchen, this incredible apartment. I don't have it 100% locked in yet. We're signing the lease on Monday. Once that happens, I will make an official announcement of how long that hiatus is gonna last. But we are gonna be gone for a couple of weeks, starting next week, Wednesday. Okay? So it's gonna be a lot happening. It's gonna be a lot happening really, really soon. So just a bit of a heads up. I'm gonna miss all of you. I still have 2 more times with you, Sunday and Wednesday. Please don't forget about that. Please, please, please. Okay? I will give you more information on Monday. Join the Discord, !Discord, to stay updated. Please join the Discord. If you don't have a Discord account, make one. Or follow me on Twitter. Right? Just twitter.com/Daramgar. Okay? Everybody, thank you all for being here. Support the Patreon if you'd like to, !Patreon. If you'd like to directly financially support the show, that is the best way to go ahead and do so. My goal is to do this full time one day. Everybody, I'm going to see you all this Sunday, 5 p.m. EDT. You know where to find me. Going to be right here, twitch.tv/DaramgarTV. Thank you all. I appreciate every single one of you, and I hope you all have a good night. Bye-bye, my friends.